10, Fair Her, going to get a nice run. And number 8, Vangelic's a chance. 1, 9, 10, 8. Here's Terry Bailey.
Race. So Frankie,
for number 9.
2 Angels to move up and we're nearly set. Valentino, Valley handicap and they're ready. Racing to the starter, caught them in a magnificent line. Vangelic ridden out of the gate. She's going to lead. She's got company very quickly. Going fast on the inside to join her now and kick right through and take up the lead as Mystery Dancer. It's just in front. Mystery Dancer joining it on the outside and rushing up into second as Montoya is getting very keen. Fear Her is wide. Larimer Street's right behind those. Vangelic went back 3 wide, improving True Metal. Unanimous off the speed from Pioneer River and 2 lengths to Frankie. 2 Angels at the rear, 6.50 to go. Mystery Dancer's got them down to a jog, leading the way from Montoya. Fear Her wide, Larimer Street bolting behind those with nowhere to go. Vangelic pulls out 4 wide to get going. True Metal the centre, Pioneer River trying to get a cart home. Unanimous as well back in a bunch field from Frankie. 2 Angels near the bend. Montoya going up to Mystery Dancer. Larimer Street is bolting for a run. Vangelic coming to the outside as they turn the bend. Montoya's hit the lead. Vangelic's after it. Larimer Street had to go back inside the pair, but it's running on fast. Had a bit of a bump with Mystery Dancer. Vangelic's hit the front. Pioneer River later. Now Larimer Street's got the run. Bursting up on the inside. Larimer Street took the lead and won it easily. Larimer Street 3/4. Vangelic, Pioneer River. Montoya behind those, and they were followed by Unanimous, Frankie, 2 Angels, Mystery Dancer. Well back is Fear Her. And last of all to pull in was True Metal.
Larimer Street at 370 and 140 salutes in the listed feature for the 2-year-olds, defeating Vangelic at 180, and Pioneer River has run a good race into third at 380. 1, 8 and 3. Guesty, you held your breath if you were on the favourite around the corner, but Dean Oliver managed to, pass through there, and he's done it really nicely. He's a nice colt.
Yeah, he is, and
tucking it under the arm. Still tackles left here for the Panthers. Harris, Cleary, at the back here for Aikens. Pereira jammed in. Strong move for the alley. Short side. Martin. Lost the ball. You can hear some of the celebrations there for the Dragons. Again, standing some pressure there. Might have been Corey Norman actually that went in for the big shot. Williami was in there with a tackle as well. And then Norman gets one back. Lamb Martin made a few boo-boos last week against the Roosters, 4 errors.
I think we'll see more of this, Dan. You see Ivan Cleary down on the sidelines. We'll see a lot, obviously, from Ricky Stewart, but just his opportunity now. No distractions, no fans. A chance to get down there and interact with their players, get a real feel for the game. Particularly with the new laws around the blue shirt when they can and can't go on the field.
The Dragons, pretty much camped down here all first half. Gets up the play. Norman skips across now. Pereira with space trying to build it for the
Oh no! Oh!
Back-to-back tries. And the Dragons, they're back in business. Corey Norman sets it up. And now we have a contest.
Well, it's a beautiful ball from Corey Norman. And it comes on the back of this right now. Getting across field, draw top in. Farah chased hard. They couldn't go with Pereira. Back inside to Billy Army. And the Dragons, they go back to back. Then it comes off the back of some really strong goal line defence from that man Corey Norman. And he returns serve with a beautiful pass. Billy Army, Willie Army goes over. Now Lomax with an opportunity to put them within 2. Who would have thought of it after that opening 20-minute period from the Penrith Panthers? They have weathered the storm and found a way back in.
Well, Ivan Cleary would be absolutely filthy in the last 5 minutes. Back-to-back tries here for the Dragons. I'm going to ask the question, where was the fullback, Aikens? The break was made, and they scored the try. They run 30 or 40 metres down. I was just looking where the fullback is. He's out of position. And the Saints go in again.
That Drix break, it's all turned since then. They held their line just before that enforced break because of these oppressive conditions. Now they've got it back to 12 points to 10. Braden Williami. A cruel stat about Williami as we see some more celebrations from Simon and Sarah Jones. And now they've got the dog involved. And see, now the whole family's in the room because they can taste the chance here that maybe they've got a real opportunity. Williami, 31st NRL game, he's only tasted victory in the NRL 4 times. And he can
Pepsi.
yeah,
what is Chris? Hey?
You want to put in
back in the NRL.
AFL?
27.
Not on yet.
I'm thinking of talking about it.
So what the like for the Dragon?
Oh, there's
Royal Western Terramare was second last time out, and we'll be looking to go one better than that here.
AFL, no, 603, you're right.
Well supported also is a rock and roll jet.
There you go.
And footy, just on, I mean, how close were we not to playing footy this weekend? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that commission meeting. I think it was on Wednesday. I mean, it sounded like it was pretty robust there at commission level.
Yeah, robust for 5.5 hours. Gil McLaughlin went in there with a mandate from the club, from the players, from the broadcasters. We want to play. My understanding is there were 2 commissioners that asked the most questions. Now, it wasn't like a vote where these 2 commissioners voted against playing, but they were the ones who were absolutely keen to know more about why the AFL and why Gil McLaughlin and the rest of the commissioners wanted to play. It was Gil McLaughlin's role and the AFL's job in general to get those commissioners over the line. They didn't need an overall 100% vote. They just needed a general consensus. They got it in the end, but 2 commissioners just needed a bit of swaying, not unlike Tom Harley and the Sydney Swans, because they needed a little bit of swaying as well to make sure they could play this weekend.
There was a lot of talk about the flights at the moment. We know clubs are getting chartered flights. I was reading before that Fremantle and Melbourne will catch the same flight tomorrow night back to Perth. But where do the umpires sit in all this?
Well, if you're a Melbourne umpire going interstate, you'll catch the chartered flight with the clubs, which makes sense. That's a good move for the umpire, a good move for the clubs. But let's say if you're doing the Gold Coast Port Adelaide game and you're a Melbourne umpire, there's no chartered flight going from Melbourne to the Gold Coast. There's a chartered flight going from Adelaide to the Gold Coast because Port Power are playing. So those umpires in that game, they'll just be on a normal domestic flight. So the AFL's doing the best they can to protect its officials and its players against everything, but you can't necessarily charter a flight for 3 or 4 umpires. It's just the sad reality of the situation. But if you're going from Melbourne to an interstate ground with another team, then you'll be on that flight as an umpire.
Now, you're staying in the game tonight and doing boundary for radio, but you won't be allowed in the rooms after the game. But there's one certain film crew that I've seen hanging around a lot this week around this story and the game.
Yeah, the Amazon film crew, you might say, a brilliant documentary which came out recently, really good documentary. They've still been granted unprecedented access to rooms after the game, according to the club. So it's up to the club whether they want to have them on board. Collingwood didn't want to have them on board, so they won't be here for Collingwood tonight. But radio journalists, print journalists, they won't be allowed to the rooms post-game. But the Amazon film crew, they will still have unbelievable access, and we'll see how that comes out at the end. But it just shows that in the end, if you're paying enough money and you're giving a good enough price to the AFL, they're more than happy to let you in the rooms and in the game.
Extraordinary documentary, that one. But now, we need a good footy story at the moment. Now, Matt Jackdaw playing on Sunday against the Saints would be a fantastic footy story, but will it happen?
Well, at this stage, he wants to play. At this stage, North Melbourne is going to name him in their squad tonight. He'll train tomorrow morning. He wasn't home this morning with a couple of sniffles still, so he's still going to get through training tomorrow morning. But all things being equal, Jules, I understand.
He's like a gorilla, doesn't he?
For North Melbourne this weekend, which is a great
Big
news.
mother.
But he does have to get through training tomorrow morning.
Yeah, let's hope that's the case, Tom. It's been an extraordinary news week. Try and enjoy some footy tonight.
You too, Jules. Thank you.
Kat, back to you.
Thank you, boys. Let's move on. Jordan De Goey has broken his silence on the controversy around his return to pre-season training. The Collingwood star admits he came back unfit, but revealed that has him primed for a big season in the year he comes out of contract. Drew Jones has more.
Jordan De Goey, his footy's box office star.
De Goey! What about this package?
And thanks to Monster Energy drinks, he went one-on-one with Fox Sports News.
He is a wonderful big-time player.
2020 for Jordan De Goey began with criticism of his fitness levels.
Personally, I think off-season is for players to enjoy, and you know what, I may have come back a little bit overweight, but my love for the game is higher than it's ever been before. So for me personally, I think I need that freedom in the off-season just to really, rejuvenate, do the things I love doing and just enjoy life.
After making the most of his off-season, from more reports, De Goey has knuckled down.
Once footy does start, everything goes into that. So for me, it's just more refreshing. And whether that does mean I come back slightly overweight, I think that's okay because now I'm loving my footy so much more than I ever have. And I'm just looking forward to getting out there week in, week out, really performing and winning games.
Gets himself back on the ball. The big body spins twice. Gets to his feet. Kicks a goal.
The Pies forward has sparkled on the biggest stage, and the 24-year-old believes 2020 is the year where he can step into football's elite bracket.
I think, I'm showing burst. I've had a few injury-ridden years, so for me this year, I think it's really kind of put my foot down and make sure I am putting my hand up for one of the top players in the competition because, I do have confidence in myself doing that.
And it would be a great year to step up. De Goey is out of contract at the end of the season. Not that he's bothered.
I've got expectations on myself, and the club's got expectations on me to perform too. So it's no different to any other year. Obviously, there might be some media speculation and stuff like that, which comes with obviously contract years. But my goal is to go out there and play the best I can and help the team win. So it's pretty simple.
Collingwood have stuck by De Goey through numerous
He's a good player too, this bloke.
The forward says staying in
I'd like to see him go to Hawthorn.
is his best case scenario.
Definitely, that's where I want to be. I'm really enjoying the club. I've loved the club for so long. So, but like I said before, my job is to go out there and perform. So before any of that happens, I need to put my hand up and show that I'm capable of doing it.
Experts say he could command as much as $800,000 a season when he signs his new deal, and perhaps more at another club, given North Melbourne offered him $1 million a season back in 2018. And once the deal is no doubt on the cards, but given everything that's happening, De Goey is focused on the here and now.
As I'm getting older, it's just my love for the game is so strong at the moment. I'm just really enjoying my footy and all the opportunities that come with that. Like, who would have thought I'd be teaming up with Monster Energy and the morals and everything that company has. So obviously
Having its first look at the Ipswich circuit over the 288.
Well, new Giants skipper Stephen Coniglio has backed the AFL's decision to play shorter quarters, suggesting it will make for better footy. The midfielder
Fucking leave things alone.
Return from injury this weekend. Reporter Jeff Smith has more.
Stephen Coniglio has plenty to figure out in his first game as Giants captain, starting with the coin toss.
We'll see, Joel, if we shake hands before the game. Did they do it last time? They shake hands? They didn't? Yeah. After the game, yeah.
Last year's grand finalists host the Cats in round one, a potential blockbuster, but getting their minds off the coronavirus crisis is taking some work.
Regardless of being a football club or not, it's just hard not to talk about it, and I think we obviously, whether we players or staff or whatever, spoke about it a lot. I think for me, sort of Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday rolled on with our main training and just getting closer to a game. If you live in the space that we're playing, and just focus on that, then when the decision came through, whether we were not playing or playing, we'd be better prepared for this game. So a number of guys just put their phones away and we switched a few of our TVs off. Just we're making sure that we're preparing like a normal week.
The AFL's response included shortening the length of quarters to 16 minutes plus time on, a change Coniglio is keen to try with an open mind for the future.
As the seasons hit sort of the river mark or the winter months, shorter games and just more intensity. I think generally is better for viewing and players love it as well. You love those nail biters that seem to go forever in a quarter, but you take 4 or 5 minutes off a quarter. I firmly believe you get the same result.
The club's first standalone skipper hasn't played an AFL game since suffering a knee injury in round 17 last year, although the All-Stars clash gave a small reminder of life on the big stage.
Going to that All-Star game a couple of weeks ago was the first time in a few years of generally being a little bit nervous going into a game, but not actually coming back playing last year. And then having a really good pre-season of loading up on my knee and I couldn't have felt any better really. It's the best I've felt going into a season for a long time.
A club already with a host of big names is hoping to unleash the next against the Cats. Number 10 draft pick Tom Green named on the bench for his AFL debut.
I remember the first day, he came into the club, I was chatting with him and he goes, I'm going to play round one. Not in an arrogant way at all, it was just, I'm going to do everything in my power.
And Red Chase away third, Miming and King Mombasa
Right,
out
number
wide,
4.
doing well. Handing over on the
This is the
inside,
back of the
Red
bus.
Chase kicking up. Fourth now, Bell Burgess on the outside of Coral Bay and Fandelonis last of all. But King Mombasa led by a length and a half from Red Chase and third the outside Miming. Next is Bell Burgess on the outside of Coral Bay and Fandelon last of all, 5 lengths off the leader. So King Mombasa led by a neat length to Red Chase and third is Miming. A length and a half Coral Bay, Bell Burgess on the outside of Fandelon is still last of all, but no more than 6 lengths off the speed. So King Mombasa showed to the stablemate Miming up into second, third Red Chase and fourth the outside Bell Burgess. Coral Bay fifth offence and Fandelon the outside last of all. King Mombasa by 3 passes to Miming. Third the inside Red Chase, Bell Burgess in fourth. Coral Bay fifth and second last in Fandelon. Swings and last about 5 lengths off the leader. King Mombasa narrowly from Miming. 3 wide third Red Chase. Coral Bay looking for the way clear. Bell Burgess slipping up 4 and 5 wide. And Fandelon's last of all. We've got King Mombasa Miming the outside. Coral Bay driving through. Bell Burgess and Fandelon down the outside. Red Chase is struggling. Coral Bay and also King Mombasa Miming. Late down the outside Fabulon. Coral Bay Fabulon.
Coming. It's got it easy.
Got them all Fabulon. Last to first and Fabulon draws clear. Wins it by a length and a half to Coral Bay. Third Miming ahead of King Mombasa.
Oh, give me a hold tape.
And Red Chase dropped out to finish at the back of the field.
Oh.
Fabulon at $4.70 and $2.40 has been too good for Coral Bay at $3.50. And
I like them for
He wants football to put a smile on people's faces.
The most important thing that we feel like we've got a responsibility on is to provide some sort of entertainment and release. And for as long as the authorities ask us or allow us as a coaching group, a club, a playing group to provide some sort of entertainment in a pretty tough time, and that's what we want to do.
John Patton and Sam Frost will play their first games in the brown and gold when the Hawks host the Lions at the MCG on Sunday. But of more significance is the return of Tom Mitchell from a broken leg. The star midfielder hasn't played since winning the 2018 Brownlow medal.
Yeah, pretty much since Christmas he's done everything that's required of all our players in terms of their preparation to play. So that's why we approach this game with the same sort of approach as what it's any other player, that he's ready to go and perform.
Clarkson is searching for a long-awaited win over his former football boss, Chris Fagan. The Lions have won all 4 encounters since Fagan became a Brisbane coach. Well, up next, we cross live to Hawthorn's Jack Gunston.
Anyhow, I didn't like him. It's no good for you. Now, are you coming for dinner?
Legos. Oh yeah, what have they got? Herbs, rustic. I've seen them, and I've seen new ones.
Which one of you? I've got full today an article about the AFL saying.
What was that?
There was an article today about the AFL saying if one player tests positive for coronavirus,
That's it, end of it.
the league will shut down for 30 days.
Yeah. I just hope they don't get nothing then.
Hopefully.
I think they're testing them all, aren't they?
I have no idea. Because
They're
last night was a pretty good game. Last night.
yeah.
So hopefully, you know, hopefully you can continue. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Could be a good game tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what gym they go to. I'll have to find out.
Yeah. Eddie Maguire.
Oh, Edward. He probably won't be there tonight, I'm not sure. Collingwood are playing.
Oh yeah, 'cause he's normally out on
They're watching the crowd watching the game. Yeah, I like this head. Oops.
Yeah.
Welcome back to AFL Tonight. I'm Kat Lotman. Well, Hawthorn are getting set to host Brisbane at the MCG on Sunday afternoon. There's still a question mark over whether Jack Gunston will play as the forward continues to work his way back from ankle surgery. Perhaps he'll tell us tonight because Jack has been good enough to join us. Jack, where are you at? Am I right in saying you've got one more session to get through tomorrow?
If I can get the all clear tomorrow morning and pull up well, then yeah, I'll be playing. So look, I'm confident I'll be right. Got through the session today, so hopefully I'm out there on Sunday.
Brilliant news. How's the body feeling?
It's good. Look, obviously not an ideal pre-season, having surgery just before Christmas, but I've been able to get about a month or probably 6 weeks of work in, so it's probably more than I had last year, so I'm pretty happy, and the boys are looking good out there, so everyone's just pumped to get out there.
Do you go out of your way to be nice to Clarko in a situation like this, trying to prove to him you're good to go?
I'm always trying to be nice to Clarko at this time of year. He's got a lot to choose from, and there's a lot of depth, and a lot of guys are going well, so yeah, look, hopefully I'm in the side.
Look, before we talk about Hawthorn, I wanted to touch on last night. Did you watch the game, and what did you think of it?
I did watch the game. It was a little bit eerie and a little bit strange not seeing so many fans there, and seeing the footies go over the fence and sort of just being left there and getting thrown a ball on the sideline. And unfortunately, that's what we've got to deal with to be able to play. But look, all the footy players in the footy world want to be out there playing, so we'll do what we've got to do and hopefully put on a show for the people at home.
What sort of effect do you think all the changes have on the actual game? Obviously the no crowd factor, but also the shorter quarters.
Yeah, it's hard to tell at the moment. I think shorter quarters, hopefully you see faster footy and possibly more scoring, and we've still got the same amount of rotations, I think, which is about 90, so you see guys coming on and off the ground and I guess playing sort of burst power footy, which fans like to see, and hopefully there's some big highlights throughout the game. And look, it's a bit of unknown, but at the same time it's exciting, and hopefully we can get through as many games this season as possible.
Well, Clarko always seems to be one step ahead of the game. What are his plans in these bizarre set of circumstances where each game is so crucial due to the shortened season?
Yeah, he's always got something up his sleeve. I think just at this stage, we're probably like every other team, and you want to get a fast start. You never know what this season could end up looking like, so look, hopefully we can get a few games in if there does become a time where we've got to stop playing footy, and you can get off to a good start and see where you are, I guess, when we resume, if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, Gil McLaughlin said today the moment a player tests positive for coronavirus, the league shuts down for 30 days. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously the health and safety of players, officials and everyone in the, I guess, AFL and the world is the most important thing. So if that's the case, then I think that's the right steps that we need to do and ensure everyone's health and safety comes first. And and then footy does come second at that stage. So look, we'll hopefully it doesn't get to that, but if it does, I think everyone's ready and prepared to just go with the flow and see what happens throughout the year.
So you take on Brisbane this week. Most experts seem to be considering Hawthorn a fringe finals chance this season. Where do you rate the group?
Yeah, we've got a very exciting group. We've got a number of talented players, and we finished off the year really well, showing the brand of footy we want to play, and adding guys like Sam Frost, John Patton to our group will hopefully only make us stronger. And we've got Tommy Mitchell coming back, which is obviously well documented. He's a Brownlow medalist and a star player. So to get another year into James Warple and these guys, that hopefully we're right up there, and we can really push for finals this year and put, I guess, a lot of good games together where we couldn't do that last year.
I wanted to ask you about Chad Wingard. He copped a fair bit of criticism last year. How do you assess where he's at compared to this time last year?
Yeah, Chad's had a really good pre-season. Obviously interrupted last year and probably couldn't get enough miles in his legs at the start of the year to be able to, I guess, get in there week in, week out and put some solid performances in. But he hasn't missed a beat this pre-season.
Didn't he?
Really looking forward to what
he's a good player.
This group. He can play midfield, he can play forward, and he's an exciting player, and hoping for a big year from him.
Finally, much excitement about playing against your old teammate Grant Birchall this weekend?
There's always a lot of excitement playing against Grant. I'm sure there'll be a bit of banter out there, and with no crowd, you might be able to hear a few things said across from one another. But look, Grant I think he's 2 games off his 250th. He's been a great player for our club, and I'm sure Brisbane will love having him up there, and he's a quality bloke as well. So looking forward to seeing him out there on Sunday.
Has there been any chit-chat in the lead-up?
It's been a bit quiet. He's not big on the text anyway, so I'm sure we'll have a bit of banter throughout the game, and next week he's a good bloke to talk to. Let's say that.
Well, it has been a bit of a strange week, hasn't it? Hey, thanks so much for coming on the show, and all the best if you do indeed play this weekend.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Well, let's head back to Marvel Stadium. Julian DeStoop is there ahead of Friday night footy. Jules, you have some breaking news.
Sure do, Captain. Unfortunately, it's really sad news again for Carlton ruckman Matthew Cruiser. So, of course, we saw him go down last night. Initially, looked like an ankle injury when he landed on the foot of his opponent. Now, then the talk after the game was a foot injury. It is a foot injury, and unfortunately, he's broken the 5th metatarsal in his foot, and that means he's going to be out for 4 to 5 months. Matthew Cruiser. So really sad for the Blues. Big man, he'll need surgery next week.
I thought he broke his ankle
today. So as we know, he's been such
a really he's a good player.
Injury. And the fact that Charlie Curnow's missing for half the season, Eddie Betts is out for another month. Now Matthew Cruiser's going to miss. Well, depending how the season plays out, but he's going to miss a fair chunk of it as well. So really sad news there for the Carlton big man, out for 4 to 5 months.
Fuck Carlton, yeah.
17-20 the run.
Should be 2, 1 and 6 there to race number 10 from Ipswich.
Matthew Nick says Tex Walker will spend most of his time up forward against Sydney, despite being named on the wing. Nick says it was a tongue-in-cheek submission to the AFL after Walker publicly expressed this pre-season that's where he wants to play.
That was to give him a little bit of we'll give you a look at it, maybe. We've enjoyed the banter that he's had in around that area.
Who cares a fuck where he plays?
Initially, as a little
Jesus
bit
Christ.
tongue-in-cheek by him, and then
put him at full back.
There's something. Definitely have a look at it at some stage. Whether it's this week, we've trained with him.
Oh, look out! Big terrible text.
We saw through the Masters. Pinch hitting out in
it's one of someone has snorted him.
What we saw. It's a different dynamic for the group. We've made a few other small changes to our lineup. We've got a bit taller ahead of the ball.
Pro lost both pre-season games.
Last series.
But
opportunity for
that means nothing.
Yeah.
I reckon Sydney will beat him.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, definitely. It's likely.
We see an opportunity or a match-up that we might be able to expose. We'll have a look at it.
Well, that's all from us this evening. Enjoy Friday night footy on Fox.
Enjoy.
In Relison, who need a little bit of luck, will be
Number 8.
Back, and I'm sure Craig Williams will have the horse not that far off the speed from the gate is drawn. And number 5, Cape Richards, will be back a fair way, but was quite a good win when it scored here at Moonee Valley. 2 starts back over 1,600 metres, and then went to Ballarat and ran really well. So if they're it's a nice little tempo, and you can make up some ground. Cape Richards will be finishing hard, I suspect. Look, if you like number 1, Too Close to the Sun, or number 12, Viscosity, I'm not going to talk you out of it because I wouldn't be surprised if they scored. So it's a hard race. I just went Go to Lean, number 8 in the 4th, just about to start. Let's go to Terry.
Shane. Locked and kneed off, of course, riding for the first time in Victoria, so it's a big ask against a bloke like Craig Williams, who knows this track inside out on Relucid, who moves forward and takes up its barrier position. So there's only a few more to move in. Sam Slick about to move up. Classic Bright for Linda Meach out of the gates. Big step up tonight. But having said that, there's probably a race where there's only a few chances, and then there's roughies after that. Viscosity is the best back to the roughies, firming into 13 from 21. Now, Classic Bright, Son of Reduced Choice about to move in. And they're all set. Race 4 of the night. Garvin stood well. Stand by. Starter holding. Racing. And Crafty Devil was a bit slow to go when the gates opened. La Belle Jude's nose grazed the ground, but it quickly went through with Relucid, who's positive out of the machine. Here's Classic Bright wide out. Sam Slick and Stanley going forward, and Too Close to the Sun. He's going to be the widest runner in a line of 5 out of the straight. La Belle Jude leads the way. Stanley and Sam Slick out in no man's land with Too Close to the Sun charging forward. Relucid will now take cover on the fence. Go to Lean found a fab spot. Crafty Devil is next, then Classic Bright, who couldn't get in from Garvin. Savvy Kinwell back 2 or 3 lengths. Viscosity and Cape Richards at the rear. Too Close to the Sun did a truckload of work, but he went to the front at the 1,300 metres mark and led it by a length. On Sam Slick and La Belle Jude, 3/4 away, checking off heel. Stanley there. Got a little bit awkward. Relucid trying to get one off the fence. He does so, Williams. Go to Leany's outside, and Classic Bright's out very deep on the track. They were followed by Crafty Devil, Garban, Crafty Ken, Viscosity, and at the tail is Cape Richards. 1,000 metres to go. Too Close the Sun's got more company. Classic Bright getting its ears ridden off, went up, and it took the lead. 3/4 away, running third, Sam Slick, then came Stanley. Relucid has been given a gorgeous ride, centre field, in between runners as they come down the side from La Belle Jude. Go to Lean tracking up with cover. Coming out wide on the track is Garvin as they look to ease now from Crafty Devil. Fairway back is making ground, Cape Richards. They were followed by Savvy Ken and Viscosity last. All of a sudden, they're very compact coming to the bend. Too Close the Sun took over from Sam Slick. Classic Bright gone. Relucid in the clear if he's good enough. Go to Lean tried to get his back, and behind those La Belle Jude and running on Savvy Ken with some sort of a run. Too Close the Sun for young Nindoff. He raced to the front. Relucid's 2 lengths away. Running on wider out is Go to Lean from Sam Slick and Savvy Ken. Too Close the Sun looked all over a winner down by the 150. He's 3 lengths in front. Up against the fence from Go to Lean and Relucid, and Lachlan Nindoff. Well done in Victoria. A magnificent performance to win. Too Close the Sun won it by 4 lengths. Second Relucid from Go to Lean. Then came Crafty Devil, La Belle Jude, Cape Richards. Behind those, Viscosity, Garvin, well back Sam Slick, Savvy King.
They're still here. They just look a little different.
Hey, look!
And they're all in one place all year. Right here on Fox Footy.
And boy, do we need our heroes at the moment. Tonight, the second of a 153-game journey, the Western Bulldogs and Collingwood from an empty Marvel Stadium. Our Fox Footy superstars are heroes. Serving captain in Nick Rewalt, goal-kicking legend Jason Dunstall, and 2-time flag winner with the Kangaroos, David King. Guys, this is such an exciting game to sink our teeth into. It's probably match of the round, and 2 teams that have got plenty of hype about them, Nick.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of fun last night, the first game of the season. We weren't sure whether we were going to get here, and for these 2 teams, I think the summer would have been longer than anyone else's. The Dogs got bashed up in a final, and then the Pies surrendered what really was a golden opportunity to make it to consecutive grand finals. So absolutely desperate, both of these teams, to get out there and show it on the park tonight.
So you started last night. I just tuned in because you have no idea what you're going to see, particularly with the shortened quarters. We know there's no crowd, there's no atmosphere, but what style of footy we're going to get? And we've got a shootout. We've got teams attacking the corridor, just going end to end really, really quickly. And what stood out was the difference in skill. The kick inside 50 from the Tigers was so much better than that of the Blues. But it was exciting footy to watch, and I hope that's a sign of things to come.
Star factor for me. It's all about the stars in our game. We see Bontempelli, De Goey, Benbury. You name 15 players. It's going to be, I think, a real skill fest tonight.
We weren't sure what we were going to get last night. It was certainly different from anything we've ever seen before. Jace, do you think the shock factor of not seeing the crowd and experiencing that'll wear off and we'll start to get used to it and just focus a bit more on the contest?
Like anything, the more it happens, the more we'll become oblivious to it, Jonesy. So, look, it's a little different for the players. They'll adapt very, very quickly because they can get themselves up. They can manufacture their own atmosphere. I'd be very surprised if there's a player that's concerned about whether there's people there or not. But I just hope we continue to see this exciting brand of footy that kicked off last night.
Leadership was at a premium last night. You can see that really early in the contest, couldn't you? You could hear it through the effects mics on Fox Footy, that the players that have a real understanding of what they're trying to do as a team, the instruction, the direction. So I think both of these teams are really well positioned as far as that goes. We saw it with Richmond. We all rate these two teams really highly coming into the season. So I think straight away it's advantage teams with great depth and experience.
What about having fun? I mean, the teams are creating their own excitement. Richmond early last night, they were loving being out there. I mean, the scoreboard was flowing, the stars were getting their hands on the ball, and then it shifted. It can't look like they're having a bit of fun and getting on a bit of a roll. So I think it's about creating your own energy, your own momentum.
We'll also want to see what the coaches do to exploit the different conditions, the shorter games. Is it a matter of going harder early to get yourself in front, and then you can perhaps control the flow of the game? So we're going to see some interesting tactics as well.
It will be a season like never before, and we've seen with social distancing, social media really coming to the fore. Nick, I know a lot of people are seeking their entertainment from social media. This one from Collingwood Football Club, a dog and a magpie doing that. I'm not sure who's winning there.
Oh, that's what it is.
There can only be one winner there.
Let's be honest now. He nearly get to hiding that dog.
Unless the magpie goes for the eyes, the Pooch might be in trouble.
It is all in good fun, and we also saw Tom Phillips auctioning off some toilet paper. We know it's such a crazy thing going on in the world at the moment. He played auctioneer around the Collingwood Footy Club rooms.
We're at Collingwood Football Club toilet paper auction. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all with us. It's going to be a great afternoon of auctioning. We're going to start the bid at about $100. The value price for the toilet paper is $500, so it's well under value right now. We're going to start with $500. Let's see some bids. Right. Can we get 150? 150 from any viewers here. 150. Can we get 150? There's Wizard with a 150. Beautiful Central Cleaning Supplies.com.au. 150. How about 200? Let's go for 200 right now. 200. There's 200 without a McNichol. Unbelievable 200. Come on, Wizzy. What about 250? What up, Wizzy? Unbelievable 250. Let's go for 300. Can we get 350? Can we get $400?
500. Good to see. Having a bit of fun. Everyone's been a little bit bored.
This is the new world as well. Everyone wants some content and everyone wants to have a little bit of fun. So we may even get more of an insight now into what players are up to, what people involved in the game are up to, just to try and stay connected.
Well, I think it will because they've got more time on their hands as well. I mean, we know that training schedules are being varied and not everyone's out there together, so you're probably going to have less actual contact time at the club, which means I love this social media, the players take.
What's your playing time this week, Jack?
He's been ahead of the game, you have. You've been in isolation for years.
Yeah, correct. Correct. So I can't catch anything.
He won't let anyone. It's good. It's good. We want to have fun.
All right, we'll take it.
I don't know what they're laughing about.
Head into the newsroom and welcome John Ralph from the Herald Sun. Ralphie, last night it was a strange old night. It was one that we will remember for a very long time.
Oh, Sarah.
strange parallel universe we operated in, pardon me. Gangbuster ratings, the best in 5 years for both Channel 7 and also Fox Footy. Though it was a strange, eerie atmosphere until at least Carlton got going late in the third term. So the problem, as we thought, was that the players, you could hear everything they said. So we thought Jack Royal had been caught sledging. You look at the Carlton training here, what happened there? We checked with Jack today. It turned out that he was actually saying call the game off or stop the game when Matthew Cruiser, his opponent, was in strife. We'll talk about Matthew Cruiser in a minute. Way too many hugs, high fives, singing the song, sharing of water bottles. Now, I spoke to Peter Larkins, the respected medico today. He said that's almost the way that you would textbook get coronavirus. So, having spoken to the AFL, there will be more social distancing situations in place there. Individual water bottles. I can tell you tonight, the Collingwood has decided it will not sing a theme song in the rooms post-match if it wins. Now, it's come to that conclusion in consultation with the club medicos and also with football bosses after Steve Hocking worked through this issue today. That is a situation we probably haven't seen since the passing of Phil Walsh there. So that is the way that the AFL wants to lead by example after not quite getting it right last night.
What's your reaction to that, Kingy? After they've played for a couple of hours, obviously coming in close contact, I'm sure there's a way they could sing the song and be at a distance, but as Ralphie said, wanting to be seen, to be community leaders and doing the right thing socially.
Just strange times, aren't they? I think we've just got to get used to these sorts of things, but the fans can get involved. That's the most important part. Sing it loud, sing it proud at home, and I'm sure we'll get something from Eddie Maguire later on tonight.
Old habits are hard to break for players.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been so used to doing things, we'll learn as we go along. They'll get better.
And generating your own enthusiasm without the crowd. Obviously, it goes to revving your teammates up, Nick, and involving them in the contest.
Yeah, we've been trying to do that without physical contact and high fives and getting around your teammates. It's a challenge, and as you said, when you've done something habitually for such a long period of time, they're tough to break.
You hug Jace every time you walk into the office.
Now what we do is we stand about 4 metres apart and go, yes, how are you, Jeff? He hates hugs. I your hug. Oh, you do? Awesome.
Well, someone that needs a hug at the moment is Matty Cruiser. Unfortunately, John Ralph, he's injured yet again. Can you tell us the severity of his foot problem?
Of course, Matthew Cruiser has suffered the worst case scenario. That is a 4-month absence. He needs surgery after this incident. Now, it is a fractured metatarsal. Now, it's not the navicular, which is the absolute worst case scenario, but 4 months out, you would normally think means at least 16 weeks. Who would know in the current crisis? So he will have surgery for that situation. They do, of course, have a couple of ruckmen in the wings, in Petnet and DeConnick there. Now, Harry McKay is potentially a chance to play next week or the game after, whenever that might be. And the club has said tonight that at least Charlie Curnow has had those wires taken out of his surgically repaired knee. It's still going to be a long rehab for Charlie Curnow, but at least he can actively get into that. We all love Matty Cruiser, so do the Carlton fans, and he will be on the sidelines in inclusion himself for many months to come.
Yeah, that is a disappointing story. Thanks for getting us up to date, John Ralph. We're going to head to Marvel Stadium now and join Western Bulldogs games record holder Brad Johnson, who at a distance has gone into the Collingwood camp with Jack Chris.
This bloke.
Well, Jack, a bit different
Brad
tonight in
Johnson.
terms of preparation.
Oh, he's on the interview.
Club perspective. Yeah, obviously it's been a lot different. We've had a fair bit focused on obviously coronavirus at the club. Everyone's tipped into that a fair bit, but we haven't changed any process in the last couple of days in terms of preparing for either team for round 1 or round 2, whatever it is. So yeah, done a bit of work on the Bulldogs, did a bit of work on ourselves, and we're really looking forward to tonight. Have you spoken about generating your own enthusiasm and passion, or is that just a given anyway?
Well, you can't help not mention it, I guess, because it is a different environment. But I think every team brings that anyway, and we're pretty good at generating a fair bit of that ourselves, I believe, anyway. So yeah, we'll definitely see a lot of that on the park tonight.
Tyler Brown playing his first game, making his debut. I watched his video during the week. You were the first one over to say congratulations. It was a little bit awkward in terms of what's going on, but must mean a lot to you to have a young player like that playing tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've seen him the last 2 years get better each year, and as he develops his body and his game. So he's and in the first 2 March games, so he's played pretty well. I'm really looking forward to see his how clean he is in the contest and how he sees the game. So he reads the ball really well. I'm looking forward to seeing watching him play.
Oh, we all are, Jack. And obviously the Dogs tonight. There's a lot of talk about the way they're playing their footy and the expectations throughout this year. How do you control them?
Yep. So every team's playing pretty similar at the moment, I think. They're fast brand, they're bold, they're good with the ball in hand, and #1 pressure at ball as well. So we'll be looking to, I guess, be clean in the contest, hit our marks and kicks, try and not invite their pressure as much because we know they're a good forward half team. But yeah, so we'll try and defend that pretty well and then kick some goals ourselves.
And finally,
game number 123 in a row for you. That's a tremendous effort in a brutal game. Congratulations on that first up. Your role tonight, what is it?
Similar to last few years, halfback. Whoever plays highest forward, I'll try and play on them. But yeah, no, it's going to be good. Really excited to get out there. And I was actually watching the 2014 Bulldogs Collingwood games out on TV, getting excited. So can't wait.
All right, here we go. Good luck, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
We cannot wait for this one. As you can see, the roof at Marvel Stadium is open. It will remain open, rain, hail or shine, given the conditions the government has imposed to keep everyone as safe as they can possibly be. And a bit of light drizzle falling in Melbourne, so conditions the players will have to work around. Of course, it is a great time of uncertainty and anxiousness right throughout the world, and we really do love having a laugh. The team on bounce on Sunday. We'll make sure you and your family are laughing. Make sure you tune in. It is live Sunday following the footy.
A little bit the same. Not without fraud.
The more things change, the more some things stay the same. Footy is here, and it's as good as it's always been. Make it noise. Shake the house. Wake the neighbours.
Absolute courage.
Settle in and experience every game live, every round. From the best seat of the house, yours.
Shut up and take my money.
Which one of you is Eugene?
I'm Eugene.
I'm Eugene.
I'm Eugene.
I'm Eugene. And I'm Eugene.
Which one of you is Eugene? You dropped your wallet.
225 years of standing up. That's right.
There's shit in here, that stuff.
Well, let's talk about how far we've come. We only care about where we're going.
I thought there was a thing where one of the players for the I don't know who it was. One of the players, I think, from the women's Australian cricket team was saying, or AFLW, I don't know, one of the women players, was saying how, like, with the AFL, like, in relation to the no fans and that being there, it was saying how, like with the final of the T20 World Cup, you know, they had like 86,000 people there, and now the AFL experiencing what the AFLW players would normally experience, because like they don't get a lot of fans there at the AFLW. But the AFL, like when they started playing like over 100 years ago, they would have like not a lot of fans there at AFL when they started. Yeah. Taxi.
Yeah. Kentucky Fried. Is that what you eat when you get there? One of those tenders?
No.
No, yeah? Which one do you eat? The potato?
No, the original recipe chicken breast.
Original recipe chicken breast?
Yep. 2 pieces.
2 pieces?
Yep, and a bottle of Pepsi Max.
Do you get a potato and gravy?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay. That's the only thing you can eat from there?
Yeah.
Original recipe chicken breast?
Yep.
2 pieces?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it tastes beautiful. Yeah. 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 Yeah, one of that one, yeah.
I've had that for years. Kentucky Fried.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Oh, man.
sound, yeah.
2020 be the year of the top dog, Kingy?
Well, you think of here as a massive 2020 there in the premiership hunt. There's no doubt about that. He's their most important player, he's their best player. What he does with the football separates him, I think, from that absolute pointy end of the elite. We're talking about Dangerfield, Fife, even Dustin Martin throw in there as well. He doesn't waste a possession, Marcus Bontempelli, and at that size he can play centre forward, if you like, but his ball use through the pre-season has been just unreal. I just think if he's ripe now to absolutely rip the competition apart. Here's some of his kicks, Jason and Nick going inside forward 50. You'd love to be on the end of these. I mean, his vision is first class.
Yeah, I mean, it's two components, isn't it? You've got to have the great vision, but then you need the skills to actually match what the vision is telling you. And you look at this kid, Roy, you couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, that's a tough ball to hit.
He puts it in a place where only the forward can get it.
Have a look at this. He just walks through stoppages. Here he is hunting after the ball. Nick, we did this game. I heard your comments on the night, just that he's so clean at such speed. He's a rare gift, he's a rare talent without it. But just have a look at him walking through these next two stoppages. 193 centimetres, he'll back himself to get the ball anywhere. And through he comes, he's clean, he's got such length with his range.
That's an extraordinary take. And a lot of players to win that footy, they're actually flat-footed, so they become easier to tackle and you don't get away a clean position. But because he's so big and on the move and so clean, that's why they get such good looks going forward every time he gets the footy. Interestingly, the one part of the ball use that he still hasn't quite nailed is his doggy. Yeah. So he spends a little bit of time forward. 15-27 he kicked last year. If he can clean that up, well, then he becomes complete.
He's not alone there.
No, he's not. Did we see a chink last year in the final against GWS? They went after him, Jason, physically. He had his poorest game for the year. Do you think that'll be something that Collingwood test as early as tonight?
That may well do. I mean, do you call it a chink or is it just a tactic that he didn't handle on the day? Yeah. So he's going to expect it, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, you don't play a final like that and then think that the big teams aren't going to take notice. So he's got to expect this. He's a big boy. He can handle himself. He'll have plans in place so that when this does happen, he'll have a few strategies to handle it a little bit better. But, I mean, he wasn't the only one. No. The Giants beat them up all over the field, didn't they?
Yeah, that was a full team assault from GWS. So it'll be interesting to see whether that becomes a focus for Collingwood or it's one player, maybe a Maynard, who's traditionally off half-back, but he's got that bit of spark in him where he can really serve it up to a body.
So should they do it tonight, Collingwood?
Well, I think you're only as good as your last performance, and it showed last year that it took Bontempelli out of the game, that it had a huge impact on the Dogs, so the recipe's there.
Well, Jace, you're going to take us through the team that Marcus Bontempelli will be leading out tonight. The good news is Aaron Norton will be playing.
Yep.
He's come up after the knee surgery. He had minor knee surgery, but it was only a month ago, so that's great news.
It's a very strong team when you consider there's no room for Ed Richards, for Toby McLean, for...
Celtic Cruz is just off the arm. He's chasing the gate now.
He's exciting. He's a mature age small forward from the VFL, Willie Boy. And I love the two big recruits, Alex Keith and Josh Bruce, one at each end. And you talk about, I mean, there's so much fascination with Aaron Norton, what he's doing.
Crumble, all set. Ready to jump in the...
Hasn't it? The areas that you thought they were perhaps a little bit vulnerable in those key posts. What Alex Keith does at the defensive end is it now allows Easton Wood to go back to playing that float across, Jeremy Howe role essentially for the Collingwood team, where he doesn't have to play on the monsters every week. He can put himself in positions to win the footy. And at the other end, Bruce has been a great pickup.
Well, he is. They both take contested marks. So you get Alex Keith take intercept marks, and Josh Bruce has got a great tank. He covers ground. He's a proven goal kicker. He takes contested marks. So all of a sudden, Aaron Norton doesn't have to be the second coming and actually control the forward line for them and go to some sort of superstar status in the space of one season.
What are you expecting from, say, Bruce for the season? What sort of goal haul could he provide?
I think it's a 40 goal, consistent sort of output, but working all over the ground.
He kicked a 36 last year. He's kicked 50 before in a season. And one thing he will never do is let you down from an effort point of view. So he is the ultimate foil, if you like. But he's better than that. I think he's an upgrade on a foil or a decoy forward.
All right, looks to be pretty savvy recruiting from the Western Bulldogs. Let's go to their great now at Marvel Stadium. Bradley Johnson, what do you think about the recruitment of Alex Keith? What potential does he have? What role can he play within the side?
Good evening, Sarah. Good evening, everyone. Look, it's an important rivalry needs to play for the Western Bulldogs, no doubt, because when you have a look at what they're able to achieve this year on the back of what they did at the back end of last year, it's huge.
He was a good player, this bloke.
Hold that up for the Western Bulldogs. So when you look at Alex Keith now, he needs to hold out the best tall from the opposition. Can he do that consistently throughout?
Craig Jupp about to
What are they
release the
doing?
field.
Number 6 we're after. Not right yet.
Over as well. So that's the challenge for an Alex Keith is can he hold that down? So if he does, it allows Easton Wood, it allows Cordy, it allows Gardner, who's in the side tonight, to play better roles, and allows Crozier and the Smalls then to go to work at ground level. Has been raining here for the last 10 minutes, so could be a bit slippery in the first quarter of this game, which may help someone like Alex Keith.
And Jono, it is great recruiting. I know you're excited, thinking what the year ahead might hold, but take the heart out of it and just using your head. What are they capable of this year, the Bulldogs?
Oh, look, I think they're capable of a top 4 finish, Jason. They've got the ability and the strength within their lineup to do that. They're more mature as a side again. I think they've regrouped after a couple of years of unsettled football after winning the flag. And the back half of last year proved that. Through the midfield, they're extremely strong. I think Tim English will have a better year again. And what a matchup it is tonight against Brodie Grundy. If he can hold that together, then it puts them in pretty good shape. Defensively, they needed an Alex Keith. Up forward, they needed a Josh Bruce in their lineup just to help others like Aaron Norton, Bailey Dale, who's improving, Toby McLean when he gets back into the lineup, and players like that at ground level. It allows Johannesson and Hunter and McRae just to run and produce some good footy forward. So the excitement levels are there from across the competition because of what they're able to produce at the back end of last year in their maturity in their football.
Good stuff, thanks, Jono. Be careful there tonight. We might be able to hear you barracking if we hear a few Go Bulldogs. It's quiet stadium. We hear a Go Doggies. Oh, we hope that it's you, Brother Jones. All right, we're going to have a look at the Collingwood team now. Nick Rewalt, you're going to take us.
Game late under the 62 kilos, the top weight Mycroft joining Brother Rand in a photo for third. Sky Atlas in behind those in company with Bobcat Boy, Sadler's Hills Reedy. Also back there is Glowing Rock, fully stoked as well, and Absolute Magic.
Interestingly, Jaden Stevenson hasn't come into the side. So the forward line, when you look at Collingwood, they've had their hand forced with Mason Cox and Mychek in the key position post. Ben Reid obviously not available through injuries.
Evan is vacant. Going out,
Stevenson, it means I think to go, he spent a little bit more time forward, we'll get into that. But really the strength of the Collingwood team for the past few years has been the midfield, and it's been across half-back with Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe and their ability to intercept. We know Darcy Moore hasn't had great continuity. From what we saw at stages last year when they were both able to be out there, it made it almost impossible at times to play along down the line with Bob India forward 50 type game, Kingy.
Yeah, I don't think they've got any problems down back. I mean, their back line is really solid. Their midfield controlled possession, so they've always got time to get organised. I mean, they're a team that want to win the initial clearance and then slow the game down. So they've always got that ability to hold dominant position, Jason. I think it was a good recruit as well. Great recruit. He had a fantastic season. I think their problem is when they take the ball forward. Yeah. Because they play a different sort of brand, it can look a little bit clunky, which we'll get to later.
We spoke about Richmond playing a style that complements the personnel that they've got. I think Collingwood have found that now in the way they move the ball, they control the ball, so they're never exposed behind the ball where they are so strong.
Natural law tonight, that'll be a big loss. That hurts them. Just takes away quite a bit of that power and depth in the midfield.
Certainly plenty of possessions. Anyway, all right, we head into the newsroom now with John Ralph-Ralphie. Can you tell us who else we'll be seeing?
Oh, fuck him.
Screen, Guesty, this looks like a tricky first leg, a stack of chances.
Don't like him?
No, I'm laughing at what you say.
I ended up just going with the 4 numbers. In fact, I had the Centurion in, but it was scratched. It was a late scratching number 3. So it's out. So I'm just hoping there's enough pressure up front. They go really hard, which they normally do over this 9:55, and Gallagher's back in the field. And I'm normally going for the swoopers here, and hopefully they can get the money. 2 on top, Fine Dane, who was very good in the Oakley plate. It was in the wrong part of the track and still ran well. I mean, Bivouac was near it, and it came out won the Newmarket Handicap. Before that effort, it was quite a nice run, the listed Adams Stakes behind Joe and Ledge. It wasn't beaten that far. So this will be its third run in. It goes well at Moonee Valley. Should be able to beat Mark Zara for John Maloney, number 2. Number 4 in for second, Lagerfeld. Might need a little bit of luck from the gate, but if it gets some trail, I'm sure it can figure. Hasn't raced since mid-December, and first up has placed, but it's got ability, Lagerfeld. Throw in the 8th for third, Queen Annabelle, who will be back a fair way. Expect a really strong finish from the 8. And 6, which is Bella Bella. Looks like it's going to get a really nice run, and that'll give it its chance. Last race at the Valley on the 30th last year, and ran a nice race, only beaten narrowly. First up, has a few placings, so and a win to its name. 2, 4, 8 and 6. First leg of the quaddie, give it strength. Here's Terry.
Okay, it's a beautiful evening. There's very little wind to speak about. It's just a perfect setting. Fine Dane for Zara comes up. He rides Guitra, I think the horse that has been lost in the betting at around $12. And the last to move forward is Lagerfeld. And they're all set. There's a cry of no. Moving towards the inside gates. The commoner on the move, standing, racing in the challenge, and wide out on the track, beginning brightly looking for the front. Lagerfeld, away fast, Bella Vella, our Gladiator, and not far away, Miss Norway, the commoner making ground inside of Fine Dane, 2 Rebel Miss, Epic Grey, and Queen Annabelle last. 3 abreast. Lagerfeld couldn't get across as they come up and through the gap, leads the way by about a length or so.
Don't let the
Kicking up
bastard
on the
across.
inside is our Gladiator. Ahead away, Bella Vella, wide out, Miss Norway, the commoner, Fine Dane, Rebel Miss, 2 to Epic Grey, and outside of it, Queen Annabelle about to start a run. 6 lengths covers the field. Our Gladiator went up on the inside of Lagerfeld as they turn. The commoner bolting for a run, travelling up. Bella Vella's grabbed the 2 leaders, 3 wide, and Jamie went for home on the corner. Bella Vella burnt clear the holder for the season. Raced away. Fine Dane went to second. Wide out is Queen Annabelle. Bella Vella has got the bells ringing. She's going to win the Ladbrokes 55-second challenge for the second time and takes home the big prize. Fine Dane second. Flying Rebel Miss third from the commoner. Queen Annabelle, our Gladiator. Lagerfeld, Little Grey, and at the tail is Miss Norway.
Bella Vella
Yuck.
We were watching it on the TV. Gavin made his debut in round 1 1987 in front of 17,000 baying Victoria Park fans. Tyler's experience could not be more different rather. But it's great to see that even though we are so restricted, we can just get some common sense and get the beloved family and friends in there to watch the debut for Tyler.
Beautiful story. Thank you very much to Johnny Ralph. Well, there is a former footballer who's entering the media landscape who is going to be a star. Mark my words, Dylan Buckley has some X factor, and we have unleashed him on an unsuspecting Scotty Pendlebury and Marcus Bontempelli.
Sorry, bro.
Fucking bullshit.
Here, 135 into 125, back out to 140. He ain't faking. I thought his run was quite good in the Sapling Stakes. He's out.
Defensive intensity.
Oh, St George in front.
The first half, Canterbury, North Queensland, and a drive up.
He's been strong. He has been a real handful.
A real point to prove. Didn't happen for the Panthers. Isaac Luke, the old master, he knew what he was doing. He gets a penalty. And the Dragons now can reload. Geez, they can almost put this out of reach if they could put a converted try on the board.
He'll be a sore boy tomorrow. Young Luai trying to hold on to Tyrell Fuimayono all evening. 118 running metres and has just welcomed the opportunity. But Tarek Sims has presented him with the 1-week suspension. Front of lifeline by the Dragons over the summer. And boy, has he taken it.
Well, they're missing a few. Tarek Sims, Corbin Sims, Ravalawa out. Cam McGuinness, of course. They're standing up tonight. They're already up to the 10. Luke, Hunt, Norman, Chris Allen, Pace. Cleary down low with a grass cutter. Now Josh Kerr. They've stacked the right side here. Norman looks from, that is the number 13, Blake Lowry. I'm just going to call him Merritt, the old Dragons number 13. Last tackle, huge play. As Hunt sends it into Norman. And the right foot kick. Brazil pouring through. But smart work from Tom. Straight to ground. It stays in the field of play. Now
Pick him up.
Crichton is gone. No penalty to Penrith. Lifted him up.
Yeah, well, that's one factor that Matt Chechen can get away with when there's no crowd. He wouldn't have got out of here alive if there was a full house here at Jubilee of Redden beat supporters. But rightly so, the penalty and a relieving one for the Panthers. Plenty of feeling in the contest.
Penrith now 10 down with 12 to play. They can put points on in a hurry, but you're going to move that here. Luai, he's moving out in the second half. Oh, forward with desperation work. Cleary. Tadavano back in the game. Up to the 20. 2 tackles left. Yo to Cleary. I love going to the left. Luai. Main and 2 on 2. Now Mansour. Cuts inside Hunt.
Oh.
Throwing a desperation pass. Kick out.
Got it. Oh.
Stop him from there. And the game takes another twist. They rode their luck, the Panthers. But once the big fella had it, he was always going to score. 28-22.
Again, this interchange of pass from the big men in the middle. Early ball out to Naden, who got the ball back inside to Mansour, who looked like he was going to score before he saw another Hail Mary from Josh Mansour. And if it's going to land anywhere, you want it in the hands of that man, Billy Army kick out. Watch this. It's like boys playing men. Boom. Just get off. Just slammed it there. Yeah.
For Isaac Luke was standing start against a big man like that. He tried his best, didn't he? Penrith have kept themselves in the game now. They've got to get down the other end. I thought when they were caught on their own line down the other end, they needed to get down there and score. They've done that. They've given us a chance to win this game.
Giving themselves plenty of time. 10 minutes. He fancy his chances from here, Cleary. 10 in from touch, but he's in good kicking form. So, 28-24. So, we're riding with the Jones family. And we have to take the good with the bad. There's kick out, slamming it down. Nice control, Mr. Jones.
Yes. As the Dragons just walk back to the restart, that man kicking out now has an opportunity with 10 minutes left. Only 4 points the difference. Got his side right back in the frame here. He needs a big 10 minutes, Billy Army.
All right, this is a big kick to take it in the goal. What influence Luai starting to have on this game? He's won 6 out of the 7 games when he's been a starting house player, Jerome Luai. Maybe he can have a final say in this game. So they don't need to panic here, Penrith. There is so much time to work with. They left their run late last week.
There they go.
Stephen Crichton into the backfield. Martin looms up. Early pass. Martin to the 20. Now the pass. It's all good. The ref clears it. It's a try. And it's under the posts. Penrith are about to retake the lead. What a contest.
Oh, he's had it all the night, Ivan Cleary. Boy, he's taking the good with the bad. And it's some brilliant halves play from his son Nathan. Just watch this, over the advantage line. And just recognises that Brazil hits the ground, slips over and finds a rampaging Crichton back through the midfield. Who finds Martin in support and then a Hail Mary over the top, right into the arms of Stephen Crichton.
A legal Hail Mary.
Yes.
It's an illegal Hail Mary.
Gee, I don't know about you boys. This kid, Stephen Crichton, reminds me of a young Israel Folau. Yeah, the support, the legs on him, so strong. Gets the ball back on the inside. Panthers go back to back.
Well, what a fortnight for Stephen Crichton. Came up with the match winner to knock over the reigning premiers, the Roosters, in front of the home crowd. And tonight, trailing on the inside of Liam Martin, could this be the match winner? Boy, you don't want to go to the Joneses. We do not want to go into the lounge room of the Joneses.
I think we do, Mick. I think that's exactly where we want to go.
Why have we got someone out of Penrith? Let's go to someone in Penrith.
Stephen Crichton, he said on the fan with Lara Pitt during the week that he watched last week's try maybe once or twice with a little nod and a wink to suggest he watched it over and over. I think he's going to watch this try even more times. Talk about the time left on the clock. There's still 8 minutes to go. A point-scoring feast. 30-28. Stephen Crichton, gee, looks good in full flight, doesn't he? 19 years old. Just his 6-hour-old game.
He's off. He's off.
He wants to hurl it, doesn't he? He wants to let it go. The dog's gone, by the way.
Well, it might be a smart decision. The dog's staying outside for the next few minutes.
The little one's gone to a room. We're riding with you, Jones family. Thank you for giving us access. We've all been there. All right, so Tedavano bringing it back here for the Panthers.
The positive for them in the Dragons and Paul McGregor's side is the fact that every time they've been under pressure tonight, they've responded. Now, there's 7.5 minutes to go here, and they have had wonderful success at finding a way back into this match tonight when everything's been against them, as we see McGregor there biting whatever nails are left. But they're not out of this one.
10 tries, 5 apiece. Penrith have shown the ability to drop off as well, so it wouldn't be a shock if the Dragons had an opportunity before we're done. Oh, kick out. Diving into the tackle. Cleary goes high. Again, making Duffy come forward. Oh, Lua with the spectacular jump. And the lovely pickup from Yo. Now, Martin, this is trouble. Friday pokes in the grubber. Here comes Topo. Bodies.
Well, what's the call here? Is this 7 tackles?
Monster call here.
Yes, it is. 7 tackles.
So not played at.
Before he tapped, he called it
a challenge.
He called it before the tap. James, his challenge.
Well, this is the time to use it. 7 minutes to go.
What a time to use it. Matt Duffy about to take a quick tap.
Ash, we have a captain's challenge on the restart, a 20-metre restart.
Now, regardless of if they get that wrong, this is the perfect time to manipulate the captain's challenge.
This was the fear coming in, that it could be manipulated that way. But I think this is a genuine challenge, Mick. I think they genuinely think they've got a shot here. So Willie Army's body in the way. Toto obviously gets his hand on it.
Well, he's allowed to use
it anyway.
Foot is out and then he makes contact with the ball in touch. The challenge is successful. It'll be a scrum.
Wow.
Well,
what a challenge that is.
They were adamant. Immediately they wanted a challenge.
The last tackle.
Even he's surprised, Brian Toto.
Oh, it's turned from a 7-tackle set for the Dragons.
Hand over, fellas. Got time on.
Toto is out.
Challenge is successful.
Look at the reaction there from Brian.
Yeah.
So a fresh set for the Dragons. So it's a successful challenge, McInnes.
Yeah.
But they don't get the ball back. It just starts at 27 to 10 metres and a 6-tackle set.
And now if they don't...
West, then came Vincent Kai Valley Catwalk, then Builder's Butte, Steel and Kisses, a gap to Cadenza and Hidden Fire. The final quarter 30.2, then the mile rate was 24.1.
Well, they left Prims like alone and he's made them pay. 10.82.90. Keep the Dream has snuck into second at 10.20, and Bliss Valley has been third across the line. Just hold on to your tickets if you had either place bets or exotic wagers there on the fourth from Ballarat, because no doubt the stewards will just want to have a look at the concluding stages with it making a mistake late in proceedings. Off to the Sunshine Coast now, race number 6 over the 1200, and this is a wide open betting affair, isn't it? 4.20 about the favourite Love Action.
Scratched.
4.20 also on my screen.
Scratched.
To hold any momentum.
Absolutely. Well, we've seen the Dragons once who have come off the back of momentum, haven't they?
He's been strong again. Came up with a really poor offload that led to a Zach Lomax try at the back end of the first half under pressure. But he's been strong tonight. Josh Mansell.
Right from Coruscant, manipulating the markers who weren't square so they couldn't get involved. That gets Penrith now inside Dragons territory. Just controlling things nicely with the ball in hand, the Panthers. We improved their completion rate after that big game slump. Blue Eyes bomb. Oh, Lomax and Ashley. Tap back, that's trouble. Oh, he falls on Zach Lomax.
Oh, he did well.
He's on the verge of being a catastrophe. Got away with it there, Zach. Raffine got the energy to get it back the other end of the field. Raffine with the speculating offload to Williami.
This is Norman and Hunt's time. 4.5 minutes remaining.
Cleary racing up out of the line. Trying to get a shot on Frizzell. And spread out to Hunt. Raffine. Lomax. Mansell slides across. 4 minutes to go. Do they go conservative or do they try something? Well, that makes Hunt's decision easy. He's going to run. And now he's gone. And his pass was too late. He was caught in no man's land with that pass. He had to run.
A useless bastard there. Fucking cost the Broncos a grand final.
Oh,
bloody Hunt. Fucking useless.
He thrown to market once he touched that ball.
They got rid of him.
The outside to get that. Don't forget Broncos South. Right after this here on Fox League. This one though, going down to the wire. Tedemano. Plenty of tackles here. Harris now for Cleary. Kick out.
Just need to finish in a corner here, the Panthers.
Cleary at the line again. Crichton. Martin overruns him. Crichton still goes. Boy wants to get rid of it too. Well, here we go. The Dragons have to get this back in the field of play. Cleary. The dribble kick. Oh, then he was shrugged off it by Host.
Cleary was taken out.
Penalty in front. Slow the clock down. It will remain a one-score game, but the Dragons' task has become much more difficult.
Yeah, again, great patience from Nathan Cleary, just rolling it in. Boy, that's a tough penalty. We've seen them let go every week. That's a tough one.
Well, it wasn't his finest kick, was it?
No, it wasn't. But the mindset there is what makes him so in control at the moment of his own game, looking to build pressure.
Well, what's the alternative, boys? You can't just let him cruise through there. He puts a kick in. What are you going to coach be saying to him?
Yeah, absolutely. That close to the line, given the way he read the footy blocker in the first half and came up with the try, he was entitled to get his hands on him, Host, and it was a pretty minimal contact, to be fair.
Some nice manipulation was going on by Cleary. The young man might be 22, but he knows how to wind the clock down. Look at him line it up. Get next to the poster. He's doing it perfectly here. It's all going to come down to this short kick for the Dragons off the kickoff.
Look at the physique there, Dan. Look how much he's developed in the 6 months over the pre-season. You can see the chest and the arms now starting to really grow into his body. A number of seasons in now. He looks terrific, Nathan Cleary, to start this season.
Now he adds to his tally. There you go, Josh Mansour. He always makes good meters. When he's in good form, turning back the clock, he always makes good meters. By the way, we must thank Mick. We've had a lot of fun with Simon and Sarah Jones and the kids and the dog. Thank you very much for giving us your lounge room so we can ride the waves with you. And I'm told we're doing it again for the Broncos South game. The Nikas family, the South Sydney fans, will be in the lounge room with them. So that's coming up next year on Fox League. They've got it! A chance at the death as we enter the final minute. This is Billy Britton. Oh, what a finish! Graham! Inside the 20.
Could we be going to Golden Point for the first time in 2020?
Norman! Lloyd raced in. Oh, he just held onto that bend. Oh, run around. Now Liliami. Look good on this left side of the Dragons, but nice cover from the Panthers. 2 tackles left. The dropout is obviously no good to them. Oh, here comes Kerr. The Panthers have got it with Crichton. And Penrith will win the game. It goes right down to the finish. But Stephen Crichton, you can't keep him out of it.
Watch out, fellas.
And now,
Watch your grabbing, fellas.
a spot fire involving the former Panther Trent Merritt. We called the Panthers culture toxic, and he came back to Australia after he stint at Leeds. No love lost there. But that spot fire is put out. And the Dragons so close. They led by 10. But yet again, they let a half-time lead slip. The Penrith Panthers, 2 wins and no losses for just the 3rd time in 14 years. What a terrific game.
He hasn't been seen since September, so he's off the freshen here. And then we get out to Better Than Lego, who's been 11 to 10, and Sir Bulski at $17. But True Stepper,
So that man on screen kicked Collingwood's first goal last year. He's done the same again this year and given his club a terrific start. I'll just have to have another look at that celebration. Coming up Geelong.
Back in this lineup.
I need this explained. This is a brilliant front and centre by a player who's done this superbly his whole career. The snap duck, love that. And then we might just get a little glimpse at a new style of 2020 celebration from these Magpies boys. What are we seeing here?
Oh, yeah, foot touch.
Oh, fucking bullshit.
It's great strength, Elliot.
Jesus.
He's really good in the air, as we know, as a little man, but
Come on, Bulldogs.
as well. And if he's doing that, he's very hard to stop.
16 matches last year from 24, kicked 26. He's so valuable forward, and good to see him starting the season fit and well. Crozier through the middle he comes to half forward. Bruce didn't fly roughhead, did a fabulous pick up from this club, the Dog then. Main to Noble, picked up mid-year. Clever little handball to Pendlebury. Combining with Grundy. Intercepted. Here's a chance for the Dogs. Bailey Gale to Hunter on his right side, which is his left. Squeezes it around the corner. Bruce at full stretch. To the ground it went. Howe. Little shuffle from Roughhead in his direction was clever. And a chance for the Pies. Thomas just knocks it towards Myerchik.
You can already see Grundy getting involved in this game. Last time they played, he gave English a bit of a butt. So English has to make sure that he's proactive and not being subservient to him, making him accountable.
Got 6 Brownlow votes against the Dogs last year, Grundy done.
There you go.
Ball in and brought to ground. Dacos, side bottom, gets it back. Maynard swings onto the left and controls it to Grundy. There he is. Imagine. And how to distribute it. There is De Goey. What sort of a role for him tonight?
He's already started at full forward, but he went into the last centre clearance, JB, so he's going to be alternating.
Sits a long ball for Cox, who gets good hands. That's what you want from the big American.
And that you saw there, English went one.
Big useless bastard.
So Blankenberg.
Where's number 2? Way down. Number 6 and 7.
Heads forward. Here's Wild on Brook.
Where's number 6? And 7.
Wild on Brook platform moving up this hole, Millie.
Yeah.
She'll be the last.
Number 2, what?
Platform goes into the gates, which are now closed behind it. And the last to come up is Missile Millie. They're nearly ready here for the running of race number 6. Missile Millie now being led in by one of the attendants. A big day for the Sire Ukbar here in Geraldton. 5 starters, 4 winners. His progeny won every race they represented the Sire in. They're all in the gates. Stand by for a start. It's a good line. They're racing, and the first away is Admiral Hassan from the inside with Lucas over away well. Wild on Brook beaten for speed, and Bit of Emu's going to rush forward and be right on top of the pace early. Wild on Brook's out there very deep early from Knuckle Down and Platform. D Trump posted wide. Lucas over pushing up on the inside of Missile Millie. In behind them, Midnight Rocket followed by Hillside Ruler, and back there last of all is Charged Flame. They go along by the 650, and Admiral Hassan had held the front from Bit of Emu. Wild on Brook posted deep, couldn't get across. On the inside is Blankenberg, who's now strode up there to be running fourth. A length and a half away behind the Missile Millie. Lucas over down on the inside looking for a run. Then deeper out is Platform and D Trump homeward bound. They're into the straight. Admiral Hassan led the way from Bit of Emu. Wild on Brook. In behind them, Blankenberg, who's had a cosy run. They're followed further back by Lucas over. Bit of Emu hit the front there. 150 metres to go. It's Bit of Emu on the outside. From Admiral Hassan, Blankenberg, Wild on Brook, and down the outside, Midnight Rocket under the big weight. They'll split the line. Diving Blankenberg in the middle. Blankenberg dived a Bit of Emu. Might have just picked it up in the shadows, and a mighty run on the outside by the top weight, Midnight Rocket. And they were followed close up behind those. Charged Flame, Wild on Brook, who had to do a mountain of work. Then deeper out was Missile Millie, followed further back by Hillside Ruler, Lucas over, D Trump, Knuckle Down, and Platform. It's busy finish. Bit of Emu looked as though the Parker stable were about to record another, but then Blankenberg rushed through in the middle with a mighty dive late. Midnight Rocket was blasting home down the outside under the 61, but Blankenberg, the Hinchinbrook mare from Rockluthwaite and Alan Kennedy, looks as though she might have just got the head down in the nick of time to win it. We stand by for the placings. Last of the day, 7 Sliced Bread is out. One scratching there to the last on the program.
Come on.
Here are the numbers after the running of race 6. 6 has got it. Blankenberg, 1 second. Midnight Rocket, and 11. Bit of Emu, 3rd. 4th is number 5, Admiral Hassan from Wild on Brook. 105.
Come on, you idiots.
A short half head the margins. Another desperately tight go in race number 6.
Jeez, they're useless this mob. Stood in the fucking price. What a bunch of dickheads.
Gardner to Williams to Wood. His chance for McRae, All Australian last year.
We've got no goal.
Plenty of hassle. Dunkley over the top, went searching. Phillips knew what was happening, intercepted, but Easton Wood in the right spot to stop him in his tracks.
That's coming from someone that, not a big ruckman, Hodgie. They have to stay out of the chain generally, but he's one that can get involved.
But with his size, he's got great skills. He can link up. He's actually got a really good footy brain.
Tom Phillips. There is Grundy getting involved. Might have just put an edge down. I think he was. So already causing some problems.
Doggies are pushing a lot of numbers back. They saw what Cox did last time, was put to the top of the goal square.
Those numbers we talked about, 58 from 66. The second time they played, 25 disposals, 50 hit-outs and kicked a couple of goals, Grundy, against the Dogs. So look out.
Easton Wood does that so well. I did pump Grundy up for a run.
That's going the other way. Sorry, Hodgie, we got a hold on Hoskin Elliott. Josh, how'd you go, mate?
I was unlucky because Grundy's kick, we just pumped him up about how good his skills were. When you've got Cox in the goal square, you can't put it 35 metres out. Put it 15 metres out, give Cox a bit of a run and jump. As you can see there in the background, just interfering with a bit of a run.
Fucking nothing.
Hoskin Elliott.
Fucking weak as piss.
And if able to work its way to the front,
there it is,
he does
370.
begin pretty well. He always takes plenty of.
Yes, Hodgie, you wouldn't mind getting those
as a
fucking
thing.
Not a lot in that. Both a little bit of a hole at the start and then stopped his run a smidgen, but not the.
Three joint favourites and Snap Dancer a half point outside of those, that being La 10 Muse and Paradis, but Paradis is now taken over as the favourite. Now here's Muse about to move in for Damien Lane. And Mrs. Beckham will be the last for Chris Simons. $7 chance, and there's been support suggesting it will run well. The shape of the race through the first 400 metres will be of most interest. All in for the Alexandra Stakes. I stand as one, Song Brocade back against the gate, and she's missed it by about a length or so. Snap Dancer out fast, Latin began well, Muse and Paradis from the deep going forward, Chrysalove on the fence and Flanders Rain not far back from Evie Girl. They were being followed next of all by Solika, Song Brocade on the fence. Then came Betcha Flying and going out last Mrs. Beckham, wheeling around the first bend, Snap Dancer from Muse a half length in it. Crystal Love running third, Latin finds a beautiful spot, one out, one back, Paradis stranded, three wide. Going around Flanders Rain on the fence behind those Song Brocade. Then came Evie Girl, Solika, Betcha Flying and 2 lengths away. At the tail of the field is Mrs. Beckham. Snap Dancer in front, a half length on Muse. They control the race as they come off the back, 850 metres to go. On the fence running third is Crystal Love, Paradis moving up around like 10 as they start to bunch up a little bit. Flanders Rain just off those, wide out Evie Girl, Song Brocade, Solika. Betcha Flying will have to loop the field and Mrs. Beckham's about to go up outside of her. Action about to speed up as the 600 metre markers left behind. Snap Dancer a half in front of Muse and Paradis. Flanders Rain and right around the field coming with a run. Mrs. Beckham, Le 10 behind those. And further back Betcha Flying as they turn. Snap Dancer got away on the final corner. She led by 1 length on Paradis, trying desperately. Muse beaten off, running on Flanders Rain. Paradis hasn't given up the go. She's going after Snap Dancer. They're clear from Flanders Rain. Paradis, she's done it the tough way. She's taken the lead. She's brave. She's gallant. She's drawn clear in the concluding stages from Snap Dancer. Paradis too good for Snap Dancer. Flanders Rain ran third. Solika fourth. Betcha Flying. Then came Muse, Mrs. Beckham. Le 10 behind those. Song Brocade, Crystal Love. And the last one is the Bolter Evie Girl.
The favourite Paradis has saluted in the end. She's been a little too tough for her rivals, and in doing so has defeated Snap Dancer. And back in third, we have the 5 Flanders Rain. 7, 6 and 5, the number 2 race, number 6 from Moonee Valley, the group 3 Alexandra State.
This hot run early.
I did pump up his kicking earlier. Got full confidence in this one.
So Richmond last night off to a fast 5-goal start. Set shot, can see a lot of the goal face. And that looks good. 4 in a row, Magpies.
If you're looking for ways that Brodie Grundy was going to be even more valuable to the Pies, 4 goals. 7 last year, got one early in 2020.
Well, he's that type of guy, and we've spoken about him a lot already, but he is that type of guy that can push forward and do exactly that. If he can get a goal a game, a bit different to this Pies outfit.
And as you see there, the free kick just dragged down after he's given that handball and a lovely set shot of goal. Well, Grundy's had 6 touches and kicked the goal. The Doggies have had 6 touches in their forward half. So it just shows where the domination of Collingwood, they've had the whole play played in their half. That's 4 goals to zip on the scoreboard. Very similar to the start last night.
If you can, as you say, Doug, find a way to kick a goal a week. 7 last year, 20 plus this year, it'd be so helpful. But one thing that we forget about Brodie's is durability. 110 of the last 116 games coming into tonight. Rarely misses. Daniel Hunter closing down. Dacos. The Dogs are happy to take that advantage to half forward. The sliding was young. Well, he doesn't think so. He's going to argue his point, but he won't win it.
One of the great mobile runners of all time, Jim Steins, played a few in a row too, mate.
2-4-4?
Yeah, so it's more mobile.
The umpire talking about that ball being touched off the boot. That one wasn't. Caleb Daniel pounds a long one and a free kick.
Well, Smith Wallace.
It's going to Mitch Wallace.
Well, it's well off the ball gun.
Wouldn't want to get tackled up at all if you're a defender. Inside 50 from what we've seen last night and already tonight. Another free kick.
So the Dogs first and they need one. Get their teeth into this season. Wallace kicks truly.
Oh, Bulldogs.
So another father-son playing on this ground. It's an amazing number of them. And he's a very good one too, Mitch Wallace, and that's a nice start for him.
Just having a look tonight, I mean, there's 4 of the Pies 5. Only Will Kelly's not playing from a Collingwood perspective. Both of the Browns plus Darcy Moore and Josh Dacos. Spoke about Mark Hunter in the pre-game. Lockie's out there tonight.
You can see there, free kick and yeah, bit of hanging on. No, that's a free kick.
As soon as you start to swing him around, you can't take your eyes off the ball. Got to get run and jump. Here's the supporters. We saw a lot of them last night. The supporters here at
the dog father.
Still keen, tuning
Fuck
in. They'll be happy with that goal.
There's some fucking idiots around, isn't there?
Like to send in a message.
The dog father.
Do wish you were here, but
no.
Sadly, the fans can't be. The game of the fans.
They let him out for the night.
Right now, not good for each other. And what you do know, Duck, is when the fans are allowed back in, they'll come in huge numbers. Which they have the footy back nonetheless. Henry, little shimmy left to the goey. That was clever, just tapped at the space and ran into it. Over the top, New Phillips was there the whole time. To Main. Back it goes to Phillips. Spent more time in the midfield than any other Pie mid last year. Look for Elliott. Well read by Sidebottom. Still a chance. Carl Brown. Adams. Kick smothered brilliantly by Jason Johannesson. Then picked up by Kavara on debut. Well done inside. To Williams. Now to Norton. Now a chance for the Dogs. Here's Wallace.
Out in space for Wallace. How to close him down. Just got to kick to green grass and hope someone can drag it down. The bounce for Crispin, who's become a very, very reliable player for Collingwood. Back to Howard, cross it up. Wallace inboard. Bailey Smith did a real job. Time for Pendlebury. Phillips, Main, little one for Sidebottom. Picks it up on the half volley, the underground handball. Main's run on. Elliott, Brown, arches the back. Now they go all the way back and Steele Sidebottom can calm things down a bit.
We had the comparison with the two captains before the game. Pendlebury's just picked up his 7th touch. Bond's only had the single disposal so far in the game.
Cox, Smith, and Bradley Smith happy that Easton Wood was just playing a few metres behind. Did what he does so well, and intercepts and sets the Dogs alight again. So Cordy at half-back, happy to go through the middle of the ground. Here's Bont for his second touch play on. Everyone heard it, but Marcus Bontempelli.
Now, normally where there's a crowd, we give the players an excuse. I reckon the Bont knew that was touched.
That was smart. He didn't want to cough it up.
He knew exactly what he was doing, but
there's a couple of Collingwood supporters players around him decided to hold up for a stoppage because they are a very good team of stoppages.
Caleb Daniel just got boot to ball, still in a dangerous spot from a Dogs perspective. Myercheck, lovely kick, couldn't have kicked it any better. But Joey on the end of it, and it's in good hands right now. Left boot, as you say, doesn't take his time.
Probably not necessary. A lot of players these days want to go the stunt around the body. When you take a mark, you don't have to rush it. You rush that one, push it across. Take his time. He can still do his snap, but he just can compose himself a little bit more.
Another fan,
I knew that was coming.
Gordy kicks it straight to the biggest man on the ground. This is Cox. To Chris, just outside 50. Centering for Big Mason again, who's lurking. To the ground, and Brown. Side bottoms kick smothered. Pendlebury tracking the footy. Shovel into Main. Now Elliott. High ball at the back. Myercheck couldn't get hands to it. Oscar Elliott looks for a body by hand. Brown clever. Main thumping big handball back for Crisp. And the Pies go long again and hits the post.
This just wasn't smart. You're kicking in long. You've got Mason Cox out there by himself. You've got English short. If the ruckman's going to either stay back on the Cox or else you kick the ruckman if he's going to lead up back up. Got to be smart on that with the ball coming out of defensive 50.
Here's Bailey Smith, best first-year player at the club last year. And then to a pack of about 5. Well done in the middle of it, Jeremy Howe. He's controlled the airwaves for most of his career. Over the top, he goes to Chris. 123 in a row now for Chris. Just remarkable to Main, who couldn't get a game his first season at the Pies. Played 3, I think. Got the contract extension by a year in the off-season.
It's been an unbelievable turnaround for him, hasn't it? It looked like his career was just about done, and got given another opportunity on the wing, and he's grabbed it with both hands.
Noble got an opportunity mid last year, and he's done a great job of it, as has Myercheck. Daniel did well, crashed through, gave it quickly to Bont, quick fumble with time to gather, and Hunter can run onto it. Couple of options, happy to go long to Wallace. Couple of Pies will run at him. Maynard, Howe combined. Howe had time to go to Roughhead, and then short ball is on to Noble.
Those long down the line kicks for the Dogs just aren't working with Howe back there. Need to try and change some angles, get them through the corridor.
I think that's a lot of the pressure that the mids up the field are putting on the players. They're having to kick the ball under a lot of pressure, which would mean they just have to bomb it.
And then dragged off the football in the end was Gardner. Third game as a Dog. Like Noble, picked up in the mid-season draft last year, played a game on either side of the bye, and then injury ended his year. Good to see him fit and well. The best right now in Grundy against a man that's going to spend a lot of time rucking for the Dogs.
Grundy gets on the end of it. Fans the kick, it'll stay inboard. Elliott tried to reel it in. Not in.
Followed by River Patrol, Fiscal Fantasy and Chief Safari. Off the back, 500 metres.
You want to possess the ball, hold on to the ball. Collingwood about 92 disposals, the Bulldogs 54 so far.
Inside 50 count, Hodgie 2, 12-2 in favour of the Maggies. Hunter. Williams is a talented player, but he might have just coughed that up. Elliott on the up. Here is Brown. Gives it to his brother, who walks on through and kicks another one for Collingwood. The Browns combine and up they go in the box.
You can't help but get emotional about sport and football. Gavin Brown, one of the hardest men of all time, watching with his wife Kerry and daughter Tani, watching the 2 sons combine to kick a goal for a club that Gavin poured his heart and soul into.
You better speak to the grandma there. They just gave the mum a high five. I'm not sure if that's allowed.
There'll be sanitizer all through the box.
Great goal this. Nice and clean under pressure there from Elliott, and then a nice little handball from the brother, and then well finished from Callum. Nice for him to go.
And that's what they're doing well at the moment, Collingwood. And as they should celebrate. Great moment for them. He was a great player, Gavin Brown.
It was very relaxed then. It was Grandma who was the most excited in the box then.
I tell you what, as a father, he might have looked relaxed.
and Ladude at $6.50. $3.30 into $2.30 for Lucky Jackson. 4 wins from 23 starts for this 5-year-old Casino Prince. Gelding, a last start winner at the track and trip. And we'll be looking to do the same once more for Chris Muntz and
Handball over the top of Johannesson to the skipper in Pendlebury. Got slung around 360. Back to Callum Brown. To half forward for the Pies. Picked up by Dunkley. Just a bit of a kick and hope in the end. A couple of Pies there. One is a sliding Jeremy Howe.
That's what Richard was talking about, just a long blind kick down the ground. The forwards either need to stay attached there, they can't just get sucked up to the ground. They need a contest with that kick out.
It's very hard to get past Jeremy Howe at the moment. Dunkley had a terrific 2019 to Suckling. Handball broken up, Main to Brown. Bounces off the shin.
That's one of the great things about players like Howe. They don't worry about their opponents. If they think the Bulldogs are continuing to bomb it, then they'll just disregard their opponent, sit back there and read the play. It's exactly what you did, Hodgie, and that's what all good centre half-back players do.
And a good half-back, they rely on their midfield. Their midfield have to be putting pressure on, and that's exactly what Collingwood midfield are doing.
Williams. Long ball to half forward. Norton.
There's another one.
Controlled brilliantly by Darcy Moore.
And the problem with the two key defenders, or a great asset for Collingwood, is that they're both 200 centimetres more on offense. So long, high kicks are just not going to work. You've got to get them to move against those guys.
We might see Norton and Moore play on one another for a very long time, and they're both great marks, attacking in the air. Great example just then.
The going, Keith did well, just used his strength, tapped it down himself, ends up with Bontempelli, quick one to Hunter. Then a bit of a high up and under, a wait for side bottom end, caught him. Well done, Keith again got involved. So came over from the Crows, had an operation on his foot. His pre-season has been excellent. Smith, Howe, happy to see it over. So the first term of 2020 for the Pies and the Dogs attack.
Jackson, one away from the fence now. Ocean Waves over on the rails. Henry's on course now, 3 wide. Second last Ladoom. And Stormborn Angel now last of all as they swing down the pier over to his side. It's who done it here by 3 parts from the Sid. 3 wide, Certain Doubts up into third. 4th, Princess Cavallo. Lucky Jackson 5th. Ocean Waves over on the inside. Henry's on course now, 3 wide. Second last Ladoom and Stormborn Angel. 4 lengths away last of all. It's who done it to the leader. Certain Doubts 3 wides up to second, passing Sid. Princess Cavallo's making ground over on the inside. Next one's Lucky Jackson, and right down the outside is Ocean Waves with Princess Cavallo shot through, took over. Running home is Lucky Jackson, likewise Ladoon. Princess Cavallo the leader. Lucky Jackson on the outside, they're nicely clear from Ladoon. Lucky Jackson, Princess Cavallo. Lucky Jackson's grabbed the lead, and Lucky Jackson forges clear. Lucky Jackson wins again by length and a quarter from Princess Cavallo. Ladoon, who done it, followed by Stormborn Angel, Certain Doubt Sid, Ocean Waves, and Henry's on course last of all.
Lucky Jackson, the money was spot on there. That was a pretty easy watch over the concluding stages. 241.10 defeats Princess Cavallo at 260 and Ladood $1.70. Richmond.
Okay, $99. Tuscan Puff Pop.
Who's winning the NRL?
Well, you find that competitor. $5, as is Irene Mace. And on the other side of this, the first on a big night of racing from Gloucester Park.
Front spiders on him at the moment. Sarko on stance. Burns the tilt. Comes to the fall of Walker. Good period of play here for Brisbane. Milford looking for overlap and then boarding a score. That was a key tackle there by a former Origin teammate and Gagai. Milford in for Carrigan. Nice play. Flegler, even better play to Haas. Young forward to young forward to young forward.
Yes.
From Turpin. Oh, Croft doesn't quite get there ahead of Graham and he's hurt. He is in awful pain, Brodie Croft.
Having no try. Please confirm.
It looked like he had it.
Celebrate if he did get there first. Bale dislocated his shoulder. Onside. Just looking to confirm a possible restart.
Oh.
Well, he got there first, Graham, didn't he? It's an awful collision.
gets squashed under. There is also copped one of the
There's no touch by Brisbane in the lead-up, and the ball is not dead by South. We have a decision.
This line dropout, but that at the moment least of Brisbane's worries. Their number 7 is in trouble here.
Taking dead by South, goal drop out, box on.
On his feet. It's good news for Brisbane and Brodie Croft for that matter.
got up.
It's not cool to lose him at this stage of the game. They're building some good
could be
opportunity at Brisbane.
Stop the scrum, stop the
Beautiful night. They'll be happy with their start.
The Achar Fiskin passing lane there, followed by Show Me Hit.
Coach's box tonight, 4 games suspension. In and out during the week.
We're going to go straight away.
Drop out off the left boot of Mitchell. Corey hopes to bring it back. He's particularly Mitchell side tonight, Corey, on an 8-game drought. Corey Oates. Rabbitos, if you haven't already something benefit of his buddy over the years. He's got 12 tries in 11 games, so you have to think those two planets align tonight. And Oates will get a 4-pointer. Tackle on Haas there. Turner, Croft, Milford, then on for Boyd. Oates is lurking. Roberts, the defenders. Milford. Flegler off.
Oh,
Flegler!
Oh.
Thomas Flegler. They can all stick these Brisbane forwards. Milford for a Sarko this time. Burgess had claimed obstruction. Last tackle and a changeover. Croft is still distressed here.
Yeah, I think his trainer suggesting he may have to come off here. Well, that's bad news for Brisbane.
This will see McCulloch come on, you would think. Game 260, and Jake Turpin moved to halfback, a position he filled a number of times last year. But this is where the injury happened.
Oh, dear.
No tackles are fine.
Desperate save from Graham, and then this collision has got himself in a bad, unfortunate position, not a bad position, because at the moment Brisbane completing 100%, 26 tackles in the South Sydney's 20-metre line.
Rabbitos back on their own 20. Doing the crunch of every tackle. This time Sewer, fronted by Boyd. And what you will say of the lockout, you get to appreciate how much is seen by the players. Communication, kick charge down. Burgess, nice trap. Back for Walker, on for Burns. And Burns will kick from inside his own half. A poke and run. A Sarko back for it. Brisbane had possession. An interesting passage from South Sydney, but if you are lucky enough to go along to a training session, you get to hear the communication and it's driven into the players to talk and communicate.
There's Wayne Bennett.
And now you're getting a great example of it in the lounge room, more than we've ever had before.
Yeah, it's brilliant with no crowd. There's plenty of noise coming, and they're very vocal, both teams, again tonight. And you have to be. You have to be vocal.
Thank you, good Turpin in that halfback role. Carrigan. The Broncos forwards dialed in tonight. They've all contributed so far. They're winning that battle against the Rabbits. Milford. Kick allowed to bounce. And over the sideline.
Interesting match-up on that right wing between Dane.
Well, once she went to the top, she handled the wides all right, didn't she? Straight to the top, and she put 10 on them up the back. The rest just lost sight. 3 White, Miss Jade second, London's Choice third, and
Khan and Kenny Luck, which has been very well commissioned.
On the list, most games for Brisbane.
Into 380 on the fixed market with Tab Touch, Kenny Luck.
English and Grundy do battle again. Bontempelli had got through his hands. That'll be a push for Adams. Maynard raking left footer. That's a good one for Myercheck on a searching lead. Tall players in dangerous spots. He goes in search of Grundy, who hangs on.
And if you have a look at that vision, Tim English is about 2 metres from him, but just can't get to him to spoil that footy. And they're the sort of lessons that this young man, you can see there actually was a bit of early body work there by Grundy, and he just has to be a little bit stronger. Young English, but he'll learn from that. I'm sure he's watched a lot of tapes over the summer about this exact matchup tonight.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is he's naturally a skinny guy. Grundy, he's a big boy, he's been in the system a lot longer. It was just great body work from him. 2 metres of space, take it easy, Mark.
Early body work, wasn't it?
For his second goal of the night, talked about him hitting the scoreboard and adding to his game. That's not his best. Pulled that hard to the left.
There were a couple of reluctant gate staff there.
Number 5.
Come on, one of you take hold of the grey.
Still bullshitting around.
In the league, it's a lot easier said than done.
That's his running ability as well, and we have spoken about him a lot, but I just saw there he was the one to get back for that kick out first.
Richo mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. 2 matches last year. Trials against the Dogs. 3 Brownlow votes in each of them for Brody Grundy. Pendlebury, Brown, Tyler, Austin Elliott dropped it. Tyler got it, gave it. Intercepted by McRae. Well done, Bailey Smith. Went low, took it cleanly, and then to Bontempelli. Here's a challenge for the Dogs. Handball goes forward, but intercepted. A couple of pies were there. How? Easy enough. Not for the first time. Sets the pies up from halfback. Side bottom and Johannesson. A couple of talented players. Side bottom just tapped at the space. Great scoop. Well done, Elliott. And just buys himself some time. Floats it towards half forward. Terrific to Myercheck.
In the Jim Crack and also the Perth Stakes tomorrow and the Grandstand Cup. And then, of course, the weekend to be rounded out down at Bunbury, their last meeting before going into that long break for the renovations.
Come on.
Being down there over the next 18 months or so. So we've got Recoiled out. Recoiled is the last to make its way into the line.
Look at that in the background.
The dog.
Yeah.
Joins them. The red light is on. Started Craig Jupp, hits the button now, let them go, racing to the last of the day. First away, Pin Sun. Bloke broke the line brilliantly and out very quickly also. Recoiled. My Demi speeds up towards the lead. Kenny Luck's going to be positive out of the gates and rolls forward. Carter's in the middle. Quality Fair a little wider. And then deeper on the track when they got going, Flying Raw. Settling in behind those, Calabria Joe, and also back there as well is Jupiter Rising, trapped out there deep. Back on the inside next of all. As they work down the side, Cool Dynamite in the second half of the field, being followed by Golden Acres and Trade Talk, and whipped them all in at the 600. My Demi, though, had worked its way to the lead. Before the home corner, My Demi led by a length and a half on the grey. Kenny Luck down on the inside then. In third spot when they come towards the home corner is Recoiled. It's poised to pounce, about to get that beautiful inside run as My Demi rolls off the fence. Pin Sun has strode to fourth. Here comes the baldy face Calm down the outside, and behind them Calabria Joe. My Demi still clinging on. Recoiled down on the inside. Pin Sun joins them. It's Pin Sun down to the 100 over on the outside of My Demi. Pin Sun reaches the lead. Pin Sun goes home the better. Pin Sun has won for My Demi. Carnot have got the bob for third in front of Calabria Joe. Trade Talk was right on their hammer. Kenny Luck battled away. Jupiter Rising was next in. A gap further back in the field. Golden Acres.
He's run perfectly. Bit of a soft free kick, but it was definitely a set play.
Another goal. Jesus Christ. This game's over.
33-point lead. Collingwood doing nicely.
He says he's got the best seat in the house. The reality is he can try everyone out.
Around that position, then just needs a little bit of luck. He'll win.
Penetrating ball inside 50. Cox Cox lurking again. This time he's taken out of it fairly. Brown front and centre, that's Cal. Pendlebury cleverly. Down to Thomas and now Maynard gets it into the hands of Sidebottom. What a brilliant player Steele Sidebottom's been for Collingwood for a long period of time.
Collingwood are just so clean with their hands. They're 2 or 3 quick handballs to release someone and then a nice little composed kick out the side. They've done it so well today.
Might just be right on his range. Runs a bit of an arc. Needs to come back from left to right and it doesn't.
Minus by 34, and looking at the numbers, the Dogs have only had 10 disposals in their forward half the entire evening so far. Wow.
Well, they're dominated from the middle, Collingwood have, and that's where they've played the possession game, kept it in there, and when Cox and Grundy have been impact in the middle and forward.
And one of the super fields we've had in recent years. Loving Gabby looking for the big double, the Manicato and the William Reid. So we've got Rock Magic and Mystic Journey, the fairy tale horse, about to move in. Bivouac has been sensationally backed in bidding.
Yeah, number 9.
Rock Magic about to move in. 1,200 metres, Group 1, $500,000 Keogh Holmes William Reid Stakes. They're all set. Favourite has drawn the pole, Bivouac. Racing, Bivouac came out brutally near the inside, fast out Guitra, Pippi looking to cross and Loving Gabby spearing forward, they're broken away, 2.5 lengths on Scales of Justice, Embrace Me, wide out is Vital Silver, Mystic Journey, Exceedance well back in the field with Rock Magic and Zutori last, Bivouac held the lead, it's Bivouac flying along in front from Loving Gabby and Guitra, Pippi couldn't get across, goes back to be running fourth, they were followed by Scales of Justice, one from the fence, Embrace Me, wide out Vital Silver, Mystic Journey, Exceedance, Rock Magic, and Zutori the last one. The new market handicap winner, Bivouac and the favourite for the running of the William Reid Stakes, held together by Huey. He's a neck in front of Loving Gabby going up, putting on the pressure. Guitras had the drop on the fence. Pippi about to wind up and come to the outside. Then Embrace Me, there's nothing from the back. On the corner now, Bowman and Williams. Inside Bivouac and Loving Gabby. Guitras looking for a run. They turn the bend and hitting the front, Lucky Gabby. Loving Gabby drew clear from Bivouac. Guitras getting out and he's charging home. Loving Gabby in front. She's holding Guitra. She wins the big double, the Manicato and the William Reid Stakes. That's a great performance. Beats Guitra. Bivouac ran third. Mystic Journey fourth. Then came Pippi, Scales of Justice, Rock Magic behind those. They were followed by Vitals.
Alex Keith.
Good off-season pickup for the Western Bulldogs. Alex Keith, fine defender. Play on. Seems amazing he's only played 30 games. It's that convoluted journey to being a really good AFL footballer. Mason Cox looks like he's just dinged his ankle. Richo, to you.
Marking contest, Mason Cox has pulled up pretty ginger. He's coming off the ground straight away.
Crozier gets held in the Brown tackle. Sad news with Matty Cruiser duck. We're hearing 16 weeks. What a...
He's had no luck at all.
What a sad run of injury he's had as that one misses comfortably to the right from Brodie Grundy. So thoughts with Matty Cruiser as Mason Cox now has his issues with his ankle.
Spoke in the pre-game, Wayne missed almost 4 seasons. He's had his career 80 games, he's missed through injury. Researchers were looking at pre-game. It's been a rugged run. Craig clever to Crozier. Stuck into the best and fairest top 10 last year. There's a chance for Brown. He's been industrious. Got gifted a goal from his younger brother, 19 months his junior on debut. Tyler to Callum to goal. Bruce, as we saw in the March series, spending some time doing the ruck work. Grundy doing some of the roving. Main got there in the end. Quick hands back to Chris. And a long, hopeful ball forward. Myercheck, well done in the air. Did a great job of it. Took on Keith and it took his eyes off the football.
That was just a great kick. put out to advantage, let him get a run and jump at it. Keith is a person who likes to come across, float across and take a mark, so he's just got it far enough. Just get it out of his road.
Does the basics really well, this guy, doesn't he? Didn't try to over jump, just used his body nicely, controlled it well.
Kicked 29 in his debut year and 36 last year. Opened his account in 2020. So it's an ugly 42-point lead. 7-6 to 1 straight. Mitch Wallace, the lone goal scorer from a Bulldogs perspective.
No matter what way you look at it, it's a shellacking.
It's not good, is it?
In every stat, they are absolutely smashing the Dogs.
Oh no. Sure, Mark.
Well, not much to celebrate for the Western Bulldogs, but that
10-0. Come on, the Broncos.
Close to scoring for the first try of the night. Not much six there.
Well, they haven't been back down there since. It's been Brisbane's dominant control of the ball in their kicking game and their defence. Look at the...
Need to do something about this, the Western Bulldogs. They're getting a pounding.
You sense somewhere Greg Anderson's watching on and smiling and giving the two thumbs up.
Wayne Wiedemann, there are a few. Brian Royal. They go forward again here, Collingwood.
Play on.
Elliott dangerous ground level. Keith goes to ground. They land on top of him, but Luke Beveridge half time. Some of these numbers contested. They're getting belted. Tackle count. They're down inside 50s. They're getting smashed. He's got a lot to work with.
Yeah, at quarter time, Bevo was very calm with it. He was talking through obviously the few changes they were going to make. A different story at half time when he talks to them.
You know, the effort indicators are just not there. Williams. Yeah, Crozier. Again, kicking to a wall of black and white. Chris focused hard on the ball.
Throw.
Lloyd. Short to McRae.
Come on, the Dogs.
There is Bailey Smith. Dale back to Lloyd, who gets around Maynard. And then bites off the corridor ball. Fisted away from Caleb Daniel, turnover, centre of the ground.
Kicked it to the shortest man on the ground.
Phillips to Main. Side bottom. Very dangerous with the ball. Forward of the centre circles. Gives it back to Grundy. He goes long and hard in the Myercheck direction and another contested mark inside forward 50.
Well, the Bulldogs played that quite nicely, and then when they finally went to a contest, it was to Caleb Daniel.
This game's over.
Preparing this side to play in an empty stadium. Starting with Reece Kennedy.
You're going to do that kind of kick, it's got to be skinny side so you can defend behind the ball.
To make it 3 on end in this second term, and Myercheck has stuck it through.
We speak about Ben Cavara, who debuts tonight after being overlooked. It's hard to believe that there wouldn't be a few more Brody Myerchecks floating around in leagues that people just haven't picked up or noticed. I mean, he was a defender at Port Melbourne, he was the best at Ferris, he was a star in that premiership year, and then he's moved over, joined the Pies list, and just been seamless in his transition forward at the highest level.
Exactly right, 65 games, he's kicked 40-odd goals, but he's had a real impact when he's been down there.
Incredible display by Collingwood so far, but sitting down here at the locket end watching this Collingwood forward line work, they're always rolling a different option through the deepest forward. At the moment it's Jamie Elliott in the goal square, but De Goey's been there, Myercheck's been there, Cox has been there, Hoskin Elliott has been there. It never lets the defence get settled. They're always rolling over. They've always got a different look in this forward line. They're all viable targets. Last year 6 of them kicked over 25 goals. So dangerous, and they all kick goals.
So Myercheck gets his second, the lead balloons out to 48 points, and we've still got 6.5 minutes before half time.
Good sign for Collingwood. Cox is back on the bench, walking up and down, having a drink. Looks like he's going to come back on soon.
This Bulldog side in the last 3 home and away rounds was so prolific going forward. 300 plus tallies, and then they were humbled against the Giants. Hit 55 in that elimination final. Just the one lone goal tonight from Mitch Wallace, and struggling to move the ball forward. In fact, inside 50 count is extraordinary. 24-2 as it currently stands. Clearance is a real problem. 19-6.
It hurts when you don't get your hands on the ball of the ruck.
No positives anywhere.
Grundy's had 23 hit-outs, Cox has had 3, English has had 1, and hasn't had a possession yet, so they're dominating from the big guys.
Crozier. A lot of system about that. Hard for everyone forward of the ball. Young sat underneath it, Suckling too. Noble funded it out. Wallace. Bruce looking for his first as a dog. Suckling back to Smith. Bruce might get another crack. Dunkley feeds it back again. Johannesson. Here's a chance for Williams. He'll be right on his distance. Terrific 2018. Came back not in the best condition in the off-season leading to last season, and didn't play as much football as he would have liked. Been superb when you speak to all the club this year. Hasn't missed a beat. Can he kick the second for the Dogs? It's a long ball. It's going to fall just over the head of Brodie Grundy, and the Dogs do get their second.
Yay!
And I reckon he scored for the Rabbits. But referee Atkins just wants to check it with our team in the bunker.
Well, he's high-fiving again. Yeah, that one he's got. That's the corner post.
Possession maintained by Campbell Brown, who remains in the field of play. He grabs the ball and then goal. We have a decision.
Trying his 50th game, Kevy.
Yeah, he scored one last week as well. Known for his finishing skills. And he finished that try off nicely. That's that same play again that we've seen from...
Execute their skills just prior to that, hit their targets, get the ball to the fat side, they say these days, but to the space, and that's a great finish. Dare I say the obvious, they needed it.
Okay, unfortunately, they're running behind schedule there at Ballarat, so they will have to be moved over to Sky Racing at 2. Race 6 from Ballarat over on Sky Racing.
Found it, off to Cox, on a device. Chris Payne through a little fumble from him. Caleb Daniel goes and gets it. Can the little man finish? Dragged it back to the top of the square. Bruce had a fly at it. Cavara tracks it over the line.
Howe not happy there. Thought he was interfered with when he tried to mark it.
Still arguing his coach Jeremy Howe.
Natural forwards mentality. I think it was a free kick.
So ball in. Cox just helped it to ground. Maynard. Cal Brown. Just dumps a high one down the line. Elliott's got to beat a couple, and that's not going to work. Williams floats in from the side.
42-point margin, 14 scoring shots to just 2. Red lights going off everywhere from a Bulldogs perspective. Keith, first outing in the red, white and blue. Look at the numbers, man. Aaron Norton, just the one kick for the night. Hardly seen the football. Bailey Smith, long English, had a couple of pies in front of him, and then the ball gets stuck underneath a couple.
And that's the ball there with the Bulldogs. Once you win it in the corridor, you've got to move it a little bit quicker than that. Collingwood getting numbers back. You can see Mason Cox back there. No point bombing it once they're all back there.
Play on. Knocked out. Play on.
Here's a chance for Cavara. Trying to bustle his way through. Might get his first goal in AFL football.
You hear Penderbury arguing how to get rid of it prior to that tackle there, but that was a little bit too high.
Overlooked in 6 drafts. Mum and Dad will be watching on. Ange and Sam, John and Andrew's brothers. Partner Sheridan. It's been a long and successful football career in so many ways, and it gets rewarded with an AFL debut tonight. He's looking for his first goal with his first kick. And they will flock to him. The Dogs get their third, and he gets his first. "24 years of age, so on tonight is the captain of the Bulldogs in his 7th season. He's been, and we heard Marcus Bontempelli talking before the game. They played a little bit together, they're same age group. He plays his first game. Bontempelli plays in his 120.
So away from the gates with Dreamer Lena and Grace of Monty.
Once said to me, Hodgie, persistence and perseverance knows no failure. And that's what this young man has done. And gets that moment, and the family loved it.
Extremely happy with the family there.
Stephen Hame talking us through the family members, and what a wonderful moment for them to be live at the ground.
And they would have seen how hard he's worked. As Amy said, got knocked back time and time again. 24, come in, make a debut, kick his first goal.
And 2 in a row here for the Dogs. They had to do something. Hang on.
Should have been a free kick
Walked
there.
into the Pendlebury tackle and eventually let the ball go somehow. McRae at the ground, Bailey Smith is slow and they turn it over. Thomas, that's holding the ball. McRae, so a little bit of something back into this term here for the Doggies. Dale. Handball broken up. Smith. Williams. Through the hands of Cordy. Measures a little one to Suckling. On his left side. And a 50. Lane running over the mark will give Suckling a really good look at 3 in a row for the Dogs.
As you see, the switch over here to Suckers. Main's going to. Yeah, now it's fair call. 2 metres over. He could read what Suckling was trying to do. He wanted to roll into that left. He was trying to cut the angle as quick as he could, but just overstepped it. Umpire spot on there.
Well, you played with this man, Hodgie, played in premierships.
I'll back him. He's a very field kick is extremely good. I'm hoping right now goal kick is a bit of a stab straight to the dollar.
3 in a row. Fought their way back into it, the Western Bulldogs.
Russell Hanson just looking down the back of the line.
Number 2.
Red light turned on. Here we go. Al Swan Lake to Fave. Stand by. Holding them, hits the button now, racing, and Al Swan Lake is back about 3rd last early. LA Vongale began best of all. Maury and Jill later, Villeneuve lady. Nice and handy shadow of time going forward. Likewise, Teagues and close up, clever miss and Grace of Monaco. Metallurgist over on the inside to clear the bill. Dreamer leader, Al Swan Lake Vincero. Simply so. Also Indy Bon Bon and Rising King on the outside as last of all. So Jill later. LA Vongale, Shadow of Time and Villeneuve Lady, a neat line of 4 over on the inside, Metallurgist from Morian, Teagues, Al Swan Lake is back on the ruck at the moment, and clear the bill as the next one. It's LA Vongale grabbing the lead, Shadow of Time on the outside looming up, and Metallurgist making ground the inside, it's Shadow of Time, LA Vongale from Metallurgist, clear the bill, Teagues and Clever Misses coming down the outside, but Shadow of Time break clear late, and Shadow of Time's won it well by length and a quarter from clear the bill, and Teagues has run 3rd, Not Sure 4th, Al Swan Lake, LA Vongale, Clever Miss, Metallurgist and Simply So, followed by Right.
Ends up with a football at half back. Dunkley had that enormous Sunday afternoon against the Demons. Something like 39 disposals, 15 tackles and goals. I think a couple played against his brother Cole that afternoon. Announced himself really as top line midfielder.
It's not bit evident. To go here, something you would have thought would come in and put him down or tackle him. Something has bounced back from how strong to go he is. He's going late, just braced himself. That's the kind of power that bloke has.
Wants it back. 20 left.
10-10. Oh, no, yes.
Well, for fans of the Western Bulldogs. And a bit with Luke Hodge. I think Luke Beveridge might just open up the taps a bit at half-time, especially that tackle count, Hodgie. When you're second with the ball all the way through a half a footy, you can't trail by 9 in the tackle count if you're fair dinkum.
Yeah, it's credit to Collingwood though. Their energy around, their intensity when they've got the ball, but more importantly when they don't have the ball has been excellent. Really put the Bulldogs on the back foot.
It's 21 to 28, so they laid a couple just recently, but they've had an issue with intensity, and that's not what this club's famous for. When the Dogs are up and about, they're ferocious.
Holding the ball.
Holding the ball.
The thing with Collingwood's not, when they get the footy, they're sharing it. It's in and out of their hands that quickly. It's really hard for the Dogs to lay tackles. They're just very efficient with ball in hand, Collingwood.
Long ball to half forward. Gardner spiked it out of the air. Handball missed the target of McRae. Goes and finds it. Got it to Hunter. That was nicely done. But straight to Chris. Drops it. Noble. Shoveled it back for Howe. Handball to Moore. Isn't that a heap to do? Back to Howe. Back to Noble. Out of side. Bites off a low one for Grundy. Broken up by English. So just some nice 50-50 balls being won here by the Dogs. McRae sees Lloyd for the ball.
That's useless.
Liked.
Useless.
Through the hands and Howe picks it up. Elliott, the turnover, dangerous spot. A dangerous player in Pendlebury. Adams on the up. Elliott just couldn't get it over Johannesson. That's it for the first half.
Can you believe that South Sydney called themselves back into this game with a little bit of possession late in the half? And they go in at half-time in front.
It's hard to find a stat that they're actually ahead on. They have squared up with line breaks at 2-2, but completion rate of Brisbane 88% in the first half to South 71. Metres made 704, Brisbane to South 428. Post-contact metres, Brisbane miles in front of that department. Missed tackle count, Souths have on the wrong side of that, 17-8. The offload count, it's all there. And yet Reynolds will boot them in front. And Wayne looks exactly the same. He could have a pair of aces or a 2 and a 7. He hides it so well. So Reynolds puts South Sydney in front for the first time tonight. 2 tries apiece. 12-10 scoreline. He's Sutton out with the blue shirt on. The ground where he made his debut for the Rabbits. South Sydney will get ready for the half-time address. Bennett, Demetrio, I'm sure whether Sam will have the ears of the players. He'll get round and have a word. So, highly entertaining first half, and you couldn't have predicted this scoreline 10 minutes ago. Half-time, it is South Sydney 12, leading Brisbane 10.
Well, Suncorp may be eerily empty, but the feeling in this is palpable from home. Greg Alexander, Brett Canasta and Corey Parker. A key moment tonight was his injury to Brody Croft. He left the field in the 14th minute. Where does the Broncos' direction come from in the second half?
Yeah, well, I guess they've got Jack Turpin and Andrew McCulloch out there now.
They have smashed the Doggies in the middle. The Bulldogs did have a flurry of 3 goals there. There is a glimmer of hope, but Nick Greenlock, that is a pretty impressive first half.
The fact that, Jake is looking after his forwards, that's his little domain. Obviously, Andrew McCulloch was going to come on and fulfil that role for a period of time while Jake had a spell. There'll be a little shuffle, I would imagine, at half-time. They'll have to regroup. Losing Brody Croft, who was our main playmaker, was enormous in that 14-minute mark. So a little bit of adversity for the boys, but it was a good first half.
A huge turning point, I thought. 8 points to 0 up.
Yeah.
80% possession. They took the 2 points and haven't seen the footy since. I would have been going for the try there. So big turning point. South, all the momentum.
We have all the action and reaction coming up on Fox League.
In the first quarter. And that's noticeable out there.
there. When you watch the way when Collingwood's got the ball, Bulldogs' pressure's very, very average, but when it's the other way around, they're savage, the Pies.
Why that is so surprising is because we spoke in the pre-game about the Western Bulldogs being the best transition team in the competition, but they just couldn't find a way to move the ball.
Well, they want to switch it, don't they? They want to get it to that fat side of the ground, the open side, and go, and they normally get 34 points a game out of their defensive half. Bagel at the moment. Haven't got a score out of their defensive half. That's an unreal performance.
Collingwood have moved across beautifully defensively. Every time they see that switch coming, they shift across, push up and put pressure on and create turnovers.
8 inside 50s in a half for the Western Bulldogs. That's the second lowest ever on record. Granted, shorter game time.
Lucky they kept straight.
That's right. More efficient late in that second quarter.
Kingy, we spoke before the game about the heir apparent to Dusty Martin as the kingpin in the AFL. We suggested it could have been the Bond, but maybe it is Jordan De Goey. We're going to have a look at some lab vision now with thanks to Zero, and they're very similar.
Well, De Goey, you guys talk about this. You want him in at centre bounces, and this is why. I mean, he's playing the Dustin Martin type role in at every centre bounce that he's available for. And you love his power out of there, Jason. And when he's done that centre bounce work, he then drifts forward.
Well, he's so explosive, Kingy. He makes things happen around him. I mean, look at the vision there. He was about to give it out. He was outnumbered, and then flips it the other way to find a teammate. But what he's doing in traffic at stoppages is amazing. And you know he's got the pace to run.
That last one there, he doesn't win the first possession, but he just reads it faster than everyone else. And then because he's so explosive, he's got the ability to create separation and get outside the stoppage before everyone else.
So last night, Dustin went in for 21 centre bounces. At half-time, De Goey's been in for 11. So it's about maximising your gun talent. 10 disposals, 3 centre bounce clearances. So he's playing his part in it. So forget the pre-season. He's ready to roll.
He's awesome, and Magpie fans will be hoping and praying that he's going to be in the black and white for some time to come. We're going to have a look at our Jim Beam teammate moment now, and it is the Brown brothers. And what a moment. This is one his family will remember for a very long time, because Tyler in his debut to Callum brother waxing there, and a goal. The parents, of course, legend of the Collingwood Football Club, Gavin Brown, and his wife Kerry, so happy. Eddie Maguire gave up his seat so that the family could be there to witness the debut of Tyler. It's just a nice little story in a week that seemed pretty tough.
Nice to get a goal assist. You can always remind your brother. Oh, I got you.
That's it.
I got you. It was my first game. I was unselfish. I brought you into it.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. All right, we're going to head now to Marvel Stadium and join Brad Johnson, who is there watching on Jono. Your Bulldogs, well, they've got a lot to work out in this second half.
Oh, they certainly do, Sarah, especially in the middle of the ground. You guys have already chatted about that. Brodie Grundy, unbelievable first half. Watching him live and his power in the way that he's running and breaking away from contest is absolutely huge. He's had 26 hit-outs himself. Tim English with the 6 hit-outs in this game. 13 disposals, 3 shots at goal, 1 goal, 2. Tim English, 1 disposal for the game. He has absolutely dominated around the ground. His strength, you can see, has gone to another level. He's not allowing the Dogs any type of roughment or pressure around the contest. But once it hits the deck, they are away, the Pies. But it was more impressive in that first quarter around the contest. It was really slippery here. We had a lot of rain pre-game, and they were clean below their knees. They were sharp around the contest. They had the pressure around the ball, and then their release football was first class under conditions that weren't ideal here at Marvel Stadium. So that is where Collingwood have been able to get on top of this game, all because of the way that Brodie Grundy has just handled his first half of footy in season 2020. Also, I'd just like to add, that hit from Suckling tried on De Goey here live with no one in here, that sound was unbelievable. The clash of bodies, and how good was Jordan De Goey just to bounce straight off it and get the ball deep inside forward 50.
All right, thank you very much to Brad Johnson there at Marvel Stadium. Stick with us on Friday night, Footy on Fox. We've got plenty more coming up after this short break. At the moment, it is Collingwood comprehensively over the Doggies. What?
At the 25-minute mark, they were 12 from 12. Southside had no ball. Now, this try was something special. Only a player like Anthony Milford could have scored it with the footwork, had to run himself backwards 6 or 7 metres just to create himself a little bit of space. Took a couple over the line and showed great strength to get it down. But, Corey, as we said, 25 minutes, Broncos dominated. They decided to take a shot at goal to go to 10-0. That was with 80% possession. Things then swung around and went South Sydney's way.
Yeah, it certainly did. It was a pivotal point in the game, wasn't it? We touched on it in the green room, and before they come out to this left-hand edge, they've come
twice down the right-hand side of the Broncos and found some points. This time it was through Campbell Graham. They had a try disallowed only moments earlier before a nice little scrum piece set here. Latrell Mitchell throws the pass to Jimmy the Jet, who does really well to hold off Jermaine Asako one hand for an inside ball to Cody Walker. And just like that, as we mentioned, the South Sydney Rabbitos were right back in the game.
Yeah, really good work. Nice pass from Latrell. Jimmy the Jet to palm off left arm and then throw that ball back one-handed back inside the Walker was special. And it was a big play, and the crowd, they go wild at home. How was it, eh? Outstanding, very exciting.
Oh, very good.
Over the left-hand side, but Campbell Graham probably should have scored a try earlier as well, so they've had some joy there with a couple of little set pieces down the left-hand side, but I still can't get over the goal. Corey, I know you're on the coaching staff there. 8 points to 0, 80% of the ball.
Yeah.
South had nothing.
South's on the rack.
On the rack.
No, I agree. I mean, it's a real sort of dead area, isn't it, from 8 to 10?
Yeah.
Particularly after the back, so much ball, so much domination. You know, with the football they were playing, they look like ominous every time they went down that area.
Yeah, you just don't find yourself in those positions very often. That you've had 80% of the ball. They were 12 from 12. South had completed 4 sets, so they were just, their backsides were hanging out, and they let them off the rack. And Kevy and Vossi were talking about it in the box about what decision you make, and Kevy said, well, you do something that the opposition wouldn't want you to do. Now, they wouldn't want a tap. A quick tap would have broken South Sydney and the game might have been different. But like the first game, the side that struggles early now leads at half-time.
Well, the second half of that game coming up next, but earlier tonight, in case you missed it, it was this high-scoring, seesawing, generally strange game at Cogra. The Penrith Panthers, they got out of jail in the nick of time, 32-20 at the final.
Brought to you by Julie.
Welcome back to Friday Night Footy on Fox. It is our great privilege to be bringing you this clash from Marvel Stadium, the Western Bulldogs and Collingwood. And we've got a super weekend ahead of us on Fox Footy. So much to look forward to. It's been such a long wait to get to round one. It's probably been clouded with a lot more serious issues. But now the footy's here, let's sink our teeth into it. Kingy, Giants and the Cats, such an intriguing clash. A lot of people aren't rating the Cats, which is intriguing given where they've come from.
They're differing pre-seasons, haven't they? The Giants couldn't have looked more impressive over the last fortnight or 2 or 3 weeks, whatever you want to call it. Their ball use is probably the best in the competition. They've got talent everywhere. We know that. They're hurting from that grand final loss. Let's see how they start 2020, because often teams after that horrible showing in the grand final really struggle the following season.
Are you worried about the Cats?
A little bit, yeah. Look, I'm a hard marker on the Cats. But Dangerfield keeps doing what he does. Ablett keeps doing what he does. They're still waiting for that next group to bubble from beneath.
So is it Taylor's another year older, Selwood's another year older?
Well, it's all about Kelly. Improvement versus the competition. When they lose Kelly, how do they replace? There's a question mark there. These guys get better because they add Jacobs in as a ruckman. It's going to give them some sort of advantage to a pretty good clearance crew anyway. So I'm just looking forward to the show, the battle, the arm wrestle.
Brilliant. Jace, the Queenslander coming out of you because you want to see the Gold Coast Suns up against Port Adelaide. I know a lot of people are tipping the Suns. They do start well.
I actually want to look at both teams because I find Port an enigma as well. But from a Gold Coast perspective, we've potted them for how many years and said there's nothing happening up there, nothing's ever going to happen. Well, for the first time for a number of years, I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel. King up there and the young fella re-signs, the coaches re-signs. Rankin, who we haven't even seen as a high draft pick, will play a lot more this year. Then you get Rowell and Anderson, the first 2 picks of the draft. You've got this amazing core of youngsters that look like they want to invest in the club and actually grow up there together. Natural improvement by players like Darcy McPherson, who had such a good year last year. I think they can start winning games, and I think they can win more than what a lot of people think they'll be able to.
We know pre-season games can be a false economy.
You
take some hope out of what they were able to.
It's the style of play, the way they were able to move the ball, the way they worked and found space, and they've got an elite midfield. I'm talking elite midfield. We've got a couple of kids coming into the competition. They're going to have an impact straight away.
You were really happy with Greenwood and Ellis, their improvement to the side.
Well, I think they found players that weren't past their best, mid-20s, that can actually bring some experience and some strength and some leadership to the young players. I like what they've done.
change of leadership at Melbourne. Max Gawn is the captain, and it's such an important year for the D's. We know they really were the story of 2019, plummeting to 17th after preliminary finalists the year before.
Yeah, who are they? That's what I'm fascinated to work out. I think we get a really good insight back at the scene of the crime from the 2018 preliminary final. Which year was the aberration? Was reaching a prelim in 2018, was that them just playing above themselves? Was that the aberration? Or was last year a down year, a reality check that they needed to have so they could recalibrate and go again?
So before 2020 starts for them, which do you think was the aberration?
I think they've got enough talent within their squad, and things didn't work for them last year. Things didn't go to plan. They had injuries. They recruited Lever and they recruited May, and they've seen nothing out of either of those two players. I think they're good enough to bounce and bounce in a big way this year.
Any encouragement from their pre-season form?
I don't read it.
I thought it was just fair.
I don't read it.
Well, happy to discard that.
What are you expecting first up against the West Coast over there?
Well, I don't expect them to win, and that'd be the answer, that they're back, and last year was a complete write-off for them. But you want to see something. You want to see Petrarca through the midfield. Was that a trial through the pre-season that he's going to be discarded, and we're going to get back to Oliver and Viney and the same through the middle, and the lack of spread? That's what you want to see. You want to see some evolution from the areas of weakness that really cost them last year.
17-round season to Jace, because they had an easier draw by virtue of finishing down the bottom of the ladder. That goes out now, and it's playing for once.
Most important thing is to bank your wins early. You don't want to be chasing because we've got so much uncertainty over the way the competition's going to unfold. Bank your wins early, and then you have a chance to plan how the whole season.
Big difference is the off-season surgeries of the previous year versus this year. I mean, they're just scratching at the surface, ready to go in 2020. Let's see if it comes to fruition for them.
Time will tell. They will be one of these stories of season 2020. Well, Sunday night, get the family together because the fun and games and bounce are back again. That is Sunday after the footy right here on Fox.
Average games. Last chance for the Aussies, bombing for gold. They need to pull something big out of their budgies here, JB.
Even the most ardent South Sydney fan would find it hard to argue with that, I would think. They certainly would. I mean, Haas, again, in the thick of everything that's good about Brisbane. Wayne Bennett and Sam Burgess watching the game from end on tonight. Different view on things, and two fullbacks there as well. So big second half here, Bossy.
Here it is, second half underway from Suncorp Stadium. Broncos to have possession. And led 10-0 early. There's a few errors and a beating up of the penalty count. Now the Rabbitos in front. Good contact again. Fafita right in there. There, David Fafita. Now for Carrigan. Impressive numbers again for some of these young Brisbane forwards in the first half. Flegler, 12 hit-ups at 116 metres. Find himself with more running metres than Payne Haas is quite a feather in the cap. Obolani's had his moments. Into the Rabbitos, half he goes. Turpin back for Milford. Croft will not be returning for this second half. Underneath it is Graham. Something there on the run through. A bit of pressure, South Sydney. We know from last week they were well in charge against Cronulla and found the last quarter of the game hard. And Brisbane certainly had charge of the game against the Cowboys, but conceded the last couple of tries in the game as well. So, sure if that confuses you a little, the form line from last week. Now, the last quarter of this game will go. Reynolds kick. Long. Deft work by Sarko at the back.
And he's got some long skills, hasn't he? Just lobbed that ball off his boot back into his hands. Farnworth is on the field as well. That's one of those changes that Sandbolt spoke about.
So they're going to make a couple of positional changes. Henry Farnworth is one of those who's coming in and heavily involved. Cullick back to the bench. And Jack Chickens around the middle as searches forward there over halfway. Lovely tackle low by Murray. Turpin kick from the 40 and finds the grass quickly. Graham back on his own goal line for South Sydney. Pretty good set for Brisbane. Kick and have Souths running away from inside their own 20.
Oh, he's lost it.
Happy run.
He's got it.
He may have got there, I'm not so sure.
So it's play on.
No. Sideline official having none of it. Herbie. He went close.
Well, he did come close, didn't we? Didn't he? He saw this in the earlier game as well.
Yeah, he's put touch the line.
He's gone out, yeah.
Fucking useless.
Been unfortunate. You like your wingers to go for the try line. He certainly did that, didn't he?
Just his fourth game of first grade there. Could have been the try Herbie Farnworth.
Physicality of the Pies, and it's paid off. Let's see if Grundy can put on one of the great ruck performances of the last few.
Sent down the super sub. South Sydney ball. Certainly, classic case of dodging a bullet. South Sydney there. Their error. And that sewer is handled heavily by Boyd and Fafita. Reynolds, they get it
Knock on.
Wrapping around Walker. No, they might say Brisbane knock on first.
Yeah, I think that's what the game is saying. It was Milford, I think. No, it wasn't Milford. Corey Oates was the one. Milford on the outside of there was trouble coming for Brisbane. Oates did well to shut that play down. He knew what was happening.
Southside marks the scrum to centre field.
Side bottom. Now Phillips, the running machine, back to Adams. And measures a little one, gets it to Cal Brown. Cal brings it wide to Darcy Moore. You're looking for positives, Duck, and the Dogs need one out. They do have an ability to rattle on goals against the Bombers. They put 21 in a row. The last 12, I think, against the Giants, and then the first 6 against the Crows the following week in those last 3 home and away games.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that they were really good at. It was an area that they struggled with, wasn't it, prior to that?
It was because of their ball movement from half back, though, which Collingwood have totally stifled tonight. They just haven't been able to get that run and fast ball movement, which gives their forwards a chance. It's all down the line tonight.
Yeah, Caleb Daniel was a part of that last year as well, remember. He played at half back. Looks like he's playing a little bit more on ball tonight, so not using him like they did last year.
Myercheck kicked a couple in that second term. Defensive side of the ring. Goes searching for the tall timber and Mason Cox. Couldn't quite. And then Gardner, who, as we said earlier, spent a lot of time trying to get a game at Geelong but couldn't. Picked up in the mid-season draft last year. Gets his opportunity again. A couple of games last year for the Western Bulldogs. Starts the season in the best 22. Bontempelli to Dunkley. They become some sort of a combination. Here's a chance for Bailey Dale. Takes on Nolan and Maynard. Maynard read it well, took it cleanly, gave it off to Howe. Phillips left it behind. Norton got involved. Noble just snuck on through. Lloyd stops him.
Let's hold the
You
ball.
can already see the Bulldogs' intensity there. Tackles that were broken in the first half, not broken anymore. That was a very, very good tackle.
They put a lot of numbers up around the ball.
They should have been holding the ball.
Stoppage.
Out of there by Hutton. Bontempelli clean, but taken in a very
That's holding the ball.
good tackle from Hoskin Elliott.
Just further to that.
Same fucking thing.
If you're going down the line, you're going to need some contested marks to keep the ball moving, and they've only been able to take 3 tonight so far, the Doggies.
Oh, look, Woody. Woo-hoo. Oh, Woody's there. Oh, hell's him.
At the moment, the ball's heading across half back here for Collingwood. How a long one. Grunt He's got a good aerial match up here, but the ball goes through his hands. Dunkley just dumps it back into the middle of the ground. More to come in from the side. Another to hang on. Quick hands, McRae. Noble came through nicely. Lovely forward handball from side bottom. Another one there from Pendlebury. Got it to Phillips. Wide looking for Degoe, and it's Myercheck in front.
Well done, Degoe.
This game's over.
And Manly on Super Saturday, and Sunday the Tigers against the Knights. It was interesting hearing Mitchell Pearce talking last night on the Matty John show that he has experience playing at an empty Leichhardt Oval. It was at the under-11s, he thought, in the Tigers juniors.
Yeah.
But he still loves the place.
Yeah. They give us a playing venue like.
Take his eyes off the ball, put his arms out for a block, just slowed it up nicely.
Magpies leading goal kicker in 2019, and that's why. Beautiful set shot right there.
Come on, the dogs.
Very, very good football, Brody Myercheck.
Fucking hell.
Very
bloody useless.
Cooping that time for South Sydney.
Oh, look.
It's the penalty count mounts here. Stop-start the second half.
We haven't got a flow on that we had in that first half, have we?
There's very few words said of either coaching camp. While game in progress. So, Brisbane now with young Ethan Bullymore on his debut. Taking a run there to within 30 minutes of the line now for Payne Haas. Bullymore, a 21-year-old, hails from Rockhampton via the Great North Devils Club in Brisbane. And here he is again, now 10 away from the line. Wanting a quick play the ball. Turpin, Middleford, cross, Straighten, scored a terrific try in the first half. Quick play the ball for Turpin. Turpin then for Haas. Here's the footwork of this giant. Offloaded for Staggs. Staggs
He's got it.
He's lost it over the line.
Oh, he's lost the ball. No, yes.
Well, he's taking. Then congratulations to Turpin.
Try, yes.
I'm not sure that he's so sure.
Oh, I think he's pretty sure. He's sure.
Okay, Kevy.
He got it down. Great strength.
That's a try.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a try.
Got it.
There's the value again of Katoni Staggs, a brilliant attacking player close to the line.
Oh.
Well, he's just got too much for them. Katoni Staggs, right from the first time we saw him, a couple of
Oh,
seasons
give me a heart
ago.
attack. Come on.
They couldn't hang on. Guevara comes at him. Handball now to Degoe. Arches the back a couple of times. Brown wants the right side of his body, gets it, sits a high one up. Mason Cox and Myercheck. And English did well.
That was good by Keith then. Just got his body between Cox and where the ball was going to land. Put a nice little blocker for him.
Johannesson. His kick dangerous. Well done in the end. Dacos got involved, knocked Hunter off the football. Getting in and helping out was Dunkley, and then Grundy ensured that the young dog was going nowhere.
But that's a disappointing thing. Johannesson's such a nice kick of the footy, but coming out makes a bad kick there, misses the kick and then turned the ball over.
It was a bit of a nothing kick really in the end, just fell the space in between a couple of options.
It looked like he changed his mind late, which as soon as you're in doubt, that normally happens.
Back to middle,
As you say, it's almost like a change of mind late and just a missed kick. If someone who's such a quality kick like he is, you don't see that very often.
So Grundy and English continue their battle. You feel as though that battle has a few years to run. Thomas did well, took on the tackler and saw Chris. Again to the Cox direction. Eastonwood, little handball, missed his target. Mason Cox intercepted. Cox had it, lost it. Myercheck again gets involved. He's got 3 for the night, looking for 4.
He did a great job for Connor.
Certainly did. Matty John show on Sunday, keeping you entertained twice a week. Matty and his program. And that'll follow our rugby league double. Includes with the Titans at the end.
Joffa and his clan at this point would be hugging each other and high-fiving in normal circumstances. They would have loved what they saw there from Jordan De Goey. Clean as a whistle on the pickup and then knew exactly where the goals were. Have a look at Noel, the cameraman. He's just doing a little bit of sort of multitasking. Not sure whether or not that's breaking some sort of a union rule or not, JB, but good to get his hands on the footy.
All shoulders to the wheel at the minute, home.
Yes.
And one of the keys to that goal there by De Goey is he's on the move. And you can see there as he runs through them. That's what defenders don't like. When you're moving with speed like that, you just have so hard to match, especially when you're a bull like De Goey is.
And that's the thing, because he is so powerful, he can naturally pick the ball up and drive through whoever else is there.
Look at Noel. I'm not sure what level he played at. He's obviously farmer.
Tap it on to that man there, David Fafita. And Tony Stokes has set this second half alight for Brisbane with his running game. Hasn't he? He's been dynamic in the second. Every time he's got the ball, something has happened around him. He's got good balance and guile through the tackle. Strong, powerful through the legs.
Yet another one. 21 piece of age for Tony Staggs. South's chance to regroup.
Oh, the blood.
The off. The injury, the blood, that will be treated off the field.
Round in one of the corporate boxes, and they would have loved how he's gone about it. High ball from crisp inside forward 50, well read. Alex Keith. Nice intercept mark across half back.
McRae gets up gingerly. Keith goes searching for an option. 3 pies and just the one dog in the end, lucky probably with the outcome. McRae's got an issue with that left eye, it seems.
Kick then. Doesn't get a dive at it. Staggs running hot here. Supercoach fans loving what they're seeing from Petone. If they've got them in his side at the moment. Now Nichols with the ball. He's got a good 5 metres off the mark there. Cook, Reynolds, Murray. Back for Reynolds. Able to advance downfield there. Cook with markers standing deep. Sille, Walker, Mitchell. Haven't had to call him in the second half, really. South's up to the 10-metre line. Walker. Centerfield, Sille, nice. Reynolds, along for Burns. Good tackle, Arthurs. He's had some good moments tonight, Jesse Arthurs. Reynolds, Murray again, Seckler for the Rabbits. Tackle number 5 now. 10 away. Cook, short side. Reynolds.
That's forward.
Forward.
That's forward.
Forward pass to
Bad luck.
Fucking hell. Always going to be able to get it on that side of the
Oh,
ground.
it's gonna be hard. Hang on, the Bulldogs might get a goal.
Through the last 4 years, he knows exactly where the goals are, and he's got his.
Hey! Oh yeah, come on, lads.
Almost like the first day at school, isn't it? When you're out in the new club colours for the first time.
It looks like a porn star.
Then you want to be able to
They're
contribute.
fucking the stars.
Bruce gets his first. We saw him in the
Doesn't
March
he?
series, been sort of thrown around the ground a little bit. He was kicking goals and moved into the ruck at times. Bit of a
Segura got rid of him.
And that's what he wants. As a forward, you want to see up and see Johannesson coming out of the back line, hit the Suckling.
Got his first fucking
see what
kick.
Suckling can do.
Yeah, exciting.
That's what he knows. He doesn't kick it early.
But it's on the 40, but a fair bit of hook on it. In fact, too much. It's come down a good 15 metres short of where he wanted it to nail the 40-20.
He's got such bad tactics from Milford, getting that ball out of his territory, getting it downfield, turning these big South forwards around.
Many of those. Young man Lewis Young parked under the footy with Brody Grundy bearing down on him. He's quite glad it was recalled.
Grundy's such a
towering force. Out comes Brown. Inside he goes. Mychek having to fist it away. Free kick. Bulldogs. The way of Crozier.
Saw Tyler Brown coming out of the middle there and delivering the ball forward. I was reading that Nathan Buckley saw him in the pre-season competition of last year and thought, looks like a young Nat Fyfe in terms of that lean, tall look that's going to grow into something much stronger. And
it's a fair comparison.
You can't get much higher praise, can you? I mean, Nathan Buckley's pretty reserved, but that's nice to have said about you as a young man of the club when the coach is obviously keen on what he's seen.
Origin players there. Where is our strike back line?
I guess the key to that will be getting some possession and in good field position.
Silly on the low. Track there.
Is now that they've had that relaxed feel and no wonder they've been a better football team because of it.
Josh Thomas now sees Elliott in the pocket and gets to him. Gonna run an arc here, Elliott. Gonna swing it around and miss.
I thought you were going to say, JB, the size of the players now, as they walk past you feel like a shrimp.
To go especially.
Yeah,
he is a monster.
Oh, good kick, mate.
Boys.
There wasn't a come out of the back. I think I'd come off his shit that last kick.
Here's Lewis Young. Played at centre halfback on debut on the long sleeves at the MCG a few years ago. Hasn't quite cemented his spot, but he's been moved forward. He's doing some ruck work tonight. Opportunity to cement his spot in this side. Suckling, little gift to Bontempelli. Looks like a pretty sharp ball in the Bruce direction. Crashed the pack. Tyler Brown had it, lost it. Darcy Moore, handball, found its target. Now Pendlebury floats one over the top, allows Callum Brown to run onto the football. Joe Anderson might just be too sharp. Did well. Hunter threaded through. Dunkley, Wallace, chance for English. High.
Work again, getting into some space, isn't it? It's nice work from the front rower.
Looking forward who can't step. Milford. And Sacco in the line this time. Tackle 5 for the Broncos. 23 minutes remaining. Milford to bomb and with time. A mighty strike from Milford.
Yes.
Doesn't get it. Herbie Farnworth takes a chance.
Go boy, go boy, go boy. Yes.
Katoni Staggs has got 3 now.
Well, it's brilliant work from Staggs again. Just
Got him.
supporting the ball carrier. That explosive speed that he has. Doesn't want to keep pressure on Milford, so he puts the ball where he wants to. They manage to Herbie Farnworth clutches the ball, flick out the back, little tap on, and it's a foot race to the try line. And Katoni Staggs wins, hands down.
Sure, it's Okolwani who just does the little pass on. It was an all determination. Staggs goes over and makes it 3 for the night.
Oh, he's been an outstanding touch tonight. Just on the spot. Brilliant individual work here from Staggs. Look at the power again through those thighs to get the ball over the line. The Brisbane coaching box goes up.
And we saw Josh Bruce, the new dog kick goal, but Alex Keith, it's been an extraordinary story. Drafted by the Suns, didn't want to go to the Suns, went and played cricket. 7 first-class matches for Victoria, played some BBL cricket for the Stars, and he played in the under-19 Australian team, and then just turned his hand to football. There's some athletes that choose a sport, excel, choose another, excel. He's one of those. English, you're the man we're speaking about.
He reads the play so well. He cuts across, intercept mark.
When Tom Duday went down for the Crows, he was the man that filled that void and did it so brilliantly. Here's Suckling. Here's a chance for the Dogs. Suckling, clever little kick again. Had to manufacture something in the hands of Lewis Young.
And we've spoken about how Collingwood is setting up really well, and they are, especially for that one down the line. Dogs being able to get them through the corridor on a couple of occasions in this quarter, so...
Right at that point to the fucking ground. Get a kick it, mate.
That's it. When they do hit into the corridor, that's the time to go fast.
Yep.
You get it there, you can bypass a lot of the Collingwood defenders.
Doesn't astound me the amount of times teams go into the corridor and then go out of it.
Yeah.
15th game, Lewis Young. Can he kick his first
Oh,
goal
top kick.
in AFL football?
Fucking useless.
South's just dropping away with their defence here. This is easy.
Come on, get another one.
But they're starting to get some ascendancy here, Brisbane.
So the other co-captain off, Carrigan is a sole captain of this side at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing a great job too, isn't he, at the moment?
22 years of age, 21st first-grade game. 100 is still a big difference between what Brisbane have managed tonight. There's a fair few post-contact meters in that as well. Carrigan out on the edge, Topawati. He acquitted himself well tonight. Hill for the kick.
He's got a nice pass in his game as well, Carrigan.
He's down in back play, Carrigan. Johnston's on at fullback. So Johnston thrown into the match. 20 to go. Latrell Mitchell failing to set things alight. The star recruit. Back to the 30. And slow play the ball. Need of something. They've injected some starting forwards back in here, hoping that will turn things around. Cook off a good run from Burgess to Tola.
Important crowds where we've said it a lot of times. Yeah, tonight we would love the crowd to be here. It makes the game what it is. It's the soundtrack of the game. But send us in what you're doing and how you're watching. Hashtag we are watching.
Oh, and the dogs.
How very good. Noble. Brown boys have been nice.
36 goals down.
Not to Pelly. Back to Maynard.
That is what Collingwood have been able to do a lot tonight. Being able to get the handball back to someone who can look up, see the field, and then hit a composed kick so they can start fresh with the ball.
Well, they had to do a lot, imagine. Just controlling the ball outside.
Yeah, Woody.
Players so clearly out
Woody.
Jack Reebok, JB saying last night he was loving being able to coach from any part of the ground.
Norton taken in a really strong tackle. Wallace a good pickup. Bailey Smith now through the middle. Has a
Nice bounce, mate.
Control, and then just goes off the ground. Bruce. Dacos. Got rid of Suckling, got it to Noble. Back to Dacos. Thumping handball, Hoskin Elliott. Quite get it right by hand there, the Magpies. Caleb Daniel. High left football. Quite judged by Moore, and then a little hold on Lloyd. Sam, come around.
I was about to pump her up there, saying that's a flexibility, Scotty. You can play on the talls, can play on the smalls.
Big night. They've got an instruction. This set, South Sydney. They're working a channel 5 metres either side of the centre of the ground. And
Good on you, mate.
Pass is intercepted by Hopper.
Well, it's just a lack of support from South Sydney. When Cook and Co go, they're going numbers, and he was on his own again there. No support.
7.5 away from starting 2 from 2, Brisbane. Now, gone to Townsville last week.
This game's not over yet, mate.
To some degree, silencing the big crowd at the new stadium. Switch for Feather. They'll start the ring when he heads across field.
Well, they ring when he gets the ball, Mossy, really.
Pappenhausen alarm. Do we have the Feather alarm as well? Is that with marketing NRL merchandise?
And they've had moments, but Collingwood just been far superior.
Just edged that up to 15 with that last 4-0 forward, but he's a staggeringly low number.
The platform's fine, but it's got to be a little more adventurous at some point. It's almost like we have this power game and then kick will get a run somewhere. You'll win a few and make a break. There's certainly not much set up for a shift left or right. 16 to go, Friday night, Foxley, Reynolds, this time Walker on the fingertips. Mitchell with a ball. Oh, Graham had come back infield. And Mitchell's pass has ended up over the sideline. Sam's up, Wayne's down.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication again. Mitchell put the ball on a platter for his wingman to stay on the outside. Let's have a look at it here. You said shift the ball left, shift it right, shift it somewhere, Bossy. They found some space. Mitchell did everything he could. Look at him just looking, catch and pass. And where's his winger? He's gone in field.
And obviously with benefit of replay, maybe Wayne's even thinking then, why did he have to come inside there? It wasn't like they were running out of width there, the Rabbits.
No, there was plenty of space for them to work in.
Carrigan's got the ball for Brisbane, 15 to go.
He's been good tonight, Carrigan. Very strong for Brisbane through that middle.
We'll still hear or see from Wayne tonight.
One more.
Try here. Brisbane can smell something in the water, I'm sure of it.
Milford. Kevy pushing away from Damien Cook. There's another one with good feet and an offload. Yeah, I thought that.
Table 4.
Back we go.
This is where you are here, Anthony. Here's your full mate. Okay, time on. Table 4. Go.
Boyd. Flegler. 10 the difference. Understanding play here. Milford wants it. He's got it. His kick is back towards the posts. Not his best. Walker with the ball. Almost away from Haas. Nice recovery from the Souths. 5'8" there.
Hit the go button there. The money's everything.
Johnston playing fullback. Mitchell is left centre. Good meters back up to the 40. This part of the game they're not struggling with, but it's any further than that. Achieving a line break. They haven't made a line break at all in their second half. Cook, the Burgess, Thomas inside the 30. But it is the last play. They need a result here, the Rabbits. Walker bombs from 20 minutes out. Graham is getting through. Farnworth is onto it. With a little bit of a wall from Arthurs.
Well, he did a great job, Farnworth, again on that right side for Brisbane, securing possession. As the Broncos now just bring that ball off their line. We'll see not a lot of fancy stuff here from Brisbane. Just get the ball downfield. There we go, Bossy.
Yes, well, that's just not fair, really. I mean, there should be an offence to hold up someone's head like that.
Oh, no. You fucking useless bastard.
Managing off Reece Kennedy. Poor error. Milford for Brisbane. Rabbitos have to take advantage of this one.
Hardly ever drops the ball. You don't drop it now, mate. Jesus.
Out that fraction, looking where he's going to kick. The ball comes loose in his hands. Here's the opportunity that South Sydney were looking for.
Not sure Reece Kennedy's nose is still up.
Got him on the rack here.
I think the nose has been removed. That cannot be comfortable.
Rugby league's not a comfortable sport, Bossy.
Well said, Kevy. Good profit. And Mitchell tackle, 30 away. Johnston, Walker, low. They have to score next, South Sydney. They'd love to be back within a converted try heading into the last 10. Walker. Cross with Liam Knight. Took a skip and turned his back on the defence, hoping to get an offload back. Put down. Reynolds with the ball. Lost his head as he juggled the ball. He only had his eyes for the Stadium. Plays it a couple of minutes out. Burgess. Brisbane hang on. Tackle number 5. The ball is lost. There's the man with no nose.
Well, he just caught one in the nose as well from Burgess. And Burgess is struggling to get to play the ball. What has South Sydney got here? Brisbane need to hang on.
Knight takes the run. Is there a play left for the Trill? They come up with Cook. Through to centre with Roberts. Only got one try for the Rabbits last year. They're still waiting for that fire to burn. Oh no, the man with no nose is brought down again.
Oh, fuck off!
Poor old Reece Kennedy, maybe he's got something in his ears.
Fucking referee. Piss off. Fucking idiot. They expect to fucking get off him.
Back for Cameron Murray. They won't want to push the envelope any further here, Bruce.
They hang on here.
Well, the Sinmen could come into play. McCulloch did keep his hand to the ball there. Reynolds to Stewart. Good tackle, Darius Boyd. So he gets away. There's an offside call there. Cook at a dummy half. The whistle will blow again. It has to be Sinbin time, surely. You can't give 3 penalties away in your own line in the space of 2 minutes.
Now we're going.
All right, there's the warning.
There's the warning now, Mossy.
I think 3 is one too many, personally. Now Cook on the restart. Burgess not able to offload. The next one in the bin. It doesn't necessarily have to be a penalty close to the line. Liam Knight with it. 3 in the tackle for Brisbane. It heats up here on a Friday night. Cook. For Walker to step off the left and spin. Gets a look at the line, but can't get the run up free. This time McCulloch milking the call. Cook, Murray, Reynolds, Johnston, Roberts, Lyons.
Ah, good on you, mate.
What a catch! And then he's head over the sideline. And Brisbane giving away penalties.
They survived. They get the ball back.
What happened? Did he?
He went over the line, hit the line.
Oh, okay. All right.
You'll see the replay in a minute.
Yeah.
Very fast. Look at the distance there that they give themselves.
So he knocked it on, then his head went over the line.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fucking bad luck.
In the South Sydney fans. Clearly there.
Well, that's been a big period in the match if they go on to win here, Brisbane.
Fucking hell. Oh, milking it.
But hang on to the ball.
Ball control's been the one that's been outstanding, hasn't it? Still sitting at 83%. Very good. Give yourself every chance to win a game when you're doing that. So South Sydney at 63.
Super Saturday tomorrow. Warriors and Raiders first up. We'll be on air from 2:30. Then the Leichhardt Oval. Roosters hosting Manly. Well, hello, there you go. Kennedy, there's been complaints from Roosters family. So what did you do to our son? Take that off. Michael Villa had the first one many years ago. Still can't live it down. Mind you, scored a try while bandaged up. Back in 01. For Parramatta, back for Milford. Well-placed kick to the corner. And Super Saturday's last game tomorrow night on Fox League. It is Cronulla at their new home at Cogra, taking on Melbourne. So effectively, we've got 3 teams, the home sides tomorrow night. The Warriors' home game is on the Gold Coast. The Roosters' home game's at Leichhardt. The Cronulla's home game is at Cogra. These are strange times.
Well, there we go.
Looks for the ball off the night. That's a strange Super Saturday. We'll put the 30s in. Burgess is with it. 7 minutes remaining. Cook, Walker, this time Johnston. Oh, he's got it back. Rapid fire for Alex Johnston. A professional try scorer.
Well, that he is, certainly, Vossi. Talented, very talented player. Last play here for South. It's Dice, do or die here for them. Not much doing. Johnson comes up with a grub and it comes off the knee of one of the Broncos players. Jesse Arthurs, I think it was. Let's have a look here. Just getting down.
Fuck, that's ass.
Scoots the ball up. And Johnson picks up the spoils and gets the try that the Rabbitos were screaming out for. Sometimes you work so hard to get a try, and other times they gives it to you on occasions like this.
Unfortunate for Jesse Arthurs. Here's the reaction from Cookie. He goes badly.
The Dogs. First 2 years have been very good.
Fucking Bulldogs haven't scored.
Works it again in the English direction.
Jesus.
Thomas did a good job just to get a fist onto it and force the issue.
Richard, into you.
Yeah, we're just up on level 1 here now where the coaches' boxes are, and you can really see.
Last 5 minutes. South Sydney have always sort of been in the game. Brisbane haven't been able to put them to bed. And what's the score, Wayne? What do you think Wayne thinks the score is?
Well, I don't know. Right now, they look like disgruntled contestants on Married at First Sight, those two. They've come back, they've decided to go their separate ways.
It's the big 5 minutes, isn't it, for both teams?
22 plays 18 on a Friday night on Fox League. We go right down to the wire. Up with the ball for the Rabbitos to bring it back. Brisbane dealt a blow early. If you missed it, Brody Croft, a shoulder injury. It's been cited since the opening quarter of the match. Game that saw Brisbane leading by 10 and then trail by 2 at half time.
Got to get the ball back here.
The first 2 tries in the second half, and now the Rabbitos have got their first of the second period going into the last 5 minutes. Not to play them halfway. Reynolds kicking for field position. Back goes Corey Oates. Chasers coming through. Oates is going to go cross country. He's gone. Oh, he hasn't quite got back. That would have been some sort of feat.
Well, it would have been a magnificent play from Corey Oates. He did everything that he could to get that ball back into the field of play. He knew how desperate he had to be. What a great kick from Adam Reynolds. Look at the chasers coming through from South Sydney. Oates picks it up. He had no choice. Beats the tackle of Johnson. And the kicker, it was Reynolds who does the final tackle on Corey Oates.
It's only that the Rabbitos got so many numbers down there that Oates was denied, and only just line drop out. 4 and a bit to go. It's shallow, and Roberts is with it. James Roberts, how they love him to find some space now. Because if South score, you'll back Reynolds to kick it from anywhere. Burgess, big run. This is the platform Cook likes to work off. 5 from the line. Back right side, Walker. Murray is caught by Milford. Desperate defence. Brisbane here. Does the Sydney still hang over the head of Brisbane here? Not to Reynolds. Walker over.
Come on, get it, get it!
Graham's with the ball. Campbell Graham caught there by Hopewati. 3.5 to go. 2 tackles in the set. Reynolds, Murray, Rabbitos lose their way for a moment. And Cameron takes the tackle, 11 out. Cook with the ball. Reynolds doesn't kick. Johnston's in trouble. Johnston's in trouble, and the Rabbitos, with 3 to go and 4 down, don't come up with a kick of any sort.
Great defence, Brisbane. Cameron Murray down as well. Bruised and battered Cameron Murray. Let's have a look here. This is where Murray got injured. Wasn't much doing for the Rabbitos. Just awkwardly there on his knee. I think he fell. It's interesting they didn't try and get a repeat set there, Bossy.
I mean, it was Reynolds to have. He's the one, you're the former half, he's the one who has to take ownership.
Yeah. I understand if you're in front on the scoreboard, you just take the tackle and turn the ball over. But when you're behind, you've got to come up with something.
Brody, back over your mark, please. Actions here.
To go on his bike, he's ignored, and then the longer ball to full forward. Cox and Grundy. Grundy did well, lost his feet, but never lost sight.
Fucking hell.
Just there, overstretching.
He's up to 28 tackles, he's up on his feet. Cameron Murray, his player at the Rabbitos last year. Richard Deboo as well, in all 3 games. So 3 minutes to go. Brisbane looking to go back-to-back to start the season. Oates is hurt this time. Also concerned for Corey.
I think he just got a good whack there, right under the ribs. Might be Jaden Sewer.
Jaden, walk away, mate. James.
Let's have a look here.
It's one tackle. Just take a step back.
Maybe a touch of heads there. William Knight, was it?
From Murray down, now to Oates down.
On the shoulder there.
Knight and Sewer ripped in there for South Sydney. This has put a hold on proceedings and the build-up of tension. They're both teams getting some rest time. About the ribs, the next 5 for the Broncos. Titans, Panthers, Cowboys, Sharks and Eagles. Still a problem here, Corey Oates. The Rabbitos next 5. Roosters. That is one of the headline acts for round 3. Hoping that Latrell Mitchell can go up another gear as he comes up against his former club. That'll be a dominant storyline. Football circles next week.
There's a bit of trouble there, Corey. He can't seem to get to his feet. Looks like his sternum there, or ribs or something. I'm not sure. He's in a lot of pain though, the big man. Saying rib, so.
Well, breathing can be painful in that situation. Wallace heads up our Friday night team and we'll have all the injury wrap after this one. So unhappy end to the match for Corey Oates. There's 2 minutes, 42 seconds on the clock. It is 4 the difference. Flegler's been one of the best tonight, and note that Katoni Staggs has scored a hat-trick and been outstanding. You might be able to split the, well, I don't think you can split the tally in points, but if you could, Flegler and Staggs would be a couple of prime candidates tonight. Away for Payne Haas. Over the 40-metre line. They just want to get through this set and kick long. Quite the feather in the cap of Carrigan to be 2 from 2. Now McCulloch for Turpin to bomb high rather than kick for the corner. Graham underneath it, the ball, well, they lost it there for a moment. Walker's ended up with it. And Arthur's got a very light passage there. Changeover is the call. So this is the set for South Sydney.
Yeah. Surely they've got set up to the right, come back to Mitchell and Co on the left side of South Sydney.
We'll wrap up of both tonight's games following this.
Come on, you got him.
Ball across to Johnston off his feet, the point tackle.
Fuck him.
No, he's been good in defence tonight, Darius Boyd. Very good reader of play. He's been all over the South Sydney players.
Roberts. Well, they eat up a tackle there. The Rabbitos, strong defence from Carrigan. A captain's knock from Patrick, his 33rd tackle of the night. He leads the count. Reynolds and Walker. Lowe's got the ball. Hopewadi's got hit with Turpin. 1 tackle closer to victory, Brisbane. Cook on. Walker. Mitchell isn't able to offload. And now the last tackle and maybe their last play of the game. If Brisbane play their cards right. Murray and Reynolds.
That's it.
And Bennett has put in the queue in the rack. He's given up there. He knows that Brisbane just a little too good. Barring an absolute miracle from here.
Now look at the tackle there from Darius Boyd, right around the legs. Ends play for South Sydney tonight, ends the game for them. And I said only a couple of moments ago how good Darius Boyd has been tonight in that defensive position.
Top the tackle count across the back line. Darius Boyd for Brisbane. Anthony Seibold believes his work is done for the night. And Brisbane start the season 2 from 2. Away from Fafita. They've got a host of good players tonight. The full wrap-up coming up in a moment. But winners last week over the Cowboys. And now Brisbane winners over South Sydney.
The other two, so he's in unbelievable company early in his career.
We got the win.
That shows the quality.
It's more exciting watching that than watching this shit.
I mean, these two, as I said, these two, you want to get used
Fucking
to playing.
Bulldogs, they're useless.
It's going to happen a lot over the next 10 years.
It also helps the way the Collingwood defended as a team. Whenever there's been a ball get kicked in the air, they've had teammates fly over the top and spoil it. When it hits the ground, they've had to outnumber the whole roll.
Good place to turn it over here for the Dogs. They should be able to load up. Lloyd. Lock the ball in the hands of Daniel. Likewise, Sutcliffe.
Once again, you can see Collingwood working back. Nice kick there to Pearson's up. They've got low numbers that are sitting back.
Young. Across the ground to Alex Keith. He lowers the eyes and just can't quite get to Norton. In fact, it was Dale. Side bottom, a looping handball. Brown on debut to Dacos. Side bottom, rough head, Imagine. Composure in the back half. Distributed so beautifully by foot. There's Jordan to go. Hard running at Grundy. The kick wasn't quite there for him. He's got to do work here against Easton Wood. Numbers in the end worked for the Dogs. Smith. Well done, Maynard to worry. Suckling out of it, the ball goes over.
Just having a look at the numbers. Main and Adams 26, Sidebottom 25, Pendlebury 23, 32 in January in Pendlebury, and signed that extension, which means he's a Pie at least until the end of next year. There's a few Pies fans hoping it'll be there not end of 2021, but 2031 he's going.
It's not slowing down at all.
McRae with that unusual kicking style of his that generally works pretty well, but when Howe's in the vicinity, needs to be better. Oscar Nelly splits a couple of Dogs and again wins the contest in the air, wide to side bottom.
When you say Pendlebury's not slowing down at all, he makes the game slow down around him. That's his great ability.
Poetry in slow motion.
It's how he reads the game. He can sail a handball, sail a kick, then pull back and go either side. They're just tied with it now. They've got blokes spare everywhere.
The one thing we heard the goalpost hit just before, I mean, when you just listen, you're hearing things you've not heard before. Gets another. You hear it crisply off his boot. It's been a dominant night from the Pies. They're out to a 53-point lead, and Dacos has got a couple.
Tomorrow.
JB, you would know when you were playing against or.
What was that?
Tomorrow, are you watching the, or are you going to watch the Port Adelaide and Gold Coast?
No. There's good racing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Big carnival tomorrow.
Yeah.
I might just flick it over, just see the scores, that's about it.
Yeah.
You can tape it if you want.
Yeah, I will be.
Yeah.
So,
big meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Golden Slipper Day.
Yeah.
That's one of the big meetings in Sydney. 5 Group 1s.
Do you go for Gold Coast?
Eh?
Do you go for Gold Coast?
Against Port Adelaide?
No, I mean like in general.
The what?
In general, because they're a Queensland team. They come from Queensland.
Who?
Gold Coast.
Oh, the Suns?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about them?
Yeah, do you go for them?
Nah.
No.
Yeah. They're a fucking waste of time, the Suns. So there's GWS shit as well.
Well, they didn't perform well in the grand final. But they beat Collingwood.
Yep. Yeah. That's one good thing about them.
Yeah.
Look at the way they played the following week.
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
they should never have been. Collingwood would have played better. You know? Anyway, fuck Collingwood. I know one team that won't make the finals this year, and that's the fucking Bulldogs. They are useless. Carlton are much better.
Well, I've got a point now.
2 minutes to go.
Well, at least Brisbane won. Broncos.
Yeah,
so we'll have to see when they play next week. But yeah, they play against the Titans next week. The Brisbane Broncos.
The Titans, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always find them hard to bloody beat for some reason. Gold Coast Titans, is that what you're talking about, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were the Suns.
No.
No, Titans are a bloody hard mob to beat. Anyway, Brisbane should beat them. Depend on injuries. That's like that Oates won't play, but it looks like a broken rib or something.
Mm. Yeah, but we've still got Hawthorn on Sunday. So it could be.
Well, they've got to beat bloody Brisbane.
Yeah, Hawthorn, Brisbane.
Yeah.
Yeah. A great matchup, that one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it could be a good day.
His first goal, Bucks placed it out for his chest, allowed him to have a look at things. Maybe it was one of his first touches.
Not a bad first to get your first goal off. Probably one of the best kicks that have ever played the game.
Yeah.
Collingwood, holding the man.
We've been told also that if the Pies, before the game, I think they met and said, whatever happens tonight, we're not singing win or lose, we're not singing the club song in the group. I think that is for health and safety. I think it's the wrapping around of the arms and getting close. So I know it's all a bit incongruous given they've been tackling and doing what they've been doing all day, but it's in the competition where they can avoid it, they will avoid it. Bontempelli starting his journey as the full-time captain, 9 games prior to tonight. Youngest ever captain, VFL AFL, to captain a winning side as a 20-year-old back in 2016. Lots of young captains, but the youngest ever to record the win. Pies will record the win tonight. They set the tone very, very early.
Fucking hell.
They look pretty nice until the kick. He flushed the crumb, picked it up. Nice pressure by the Bulldogs, but
So we tick towards the end of the second game of the season, and again it's been played in circumstances which we've never seen before. If you're a Pies fan, you're happy. 52-point winners, Collingwood over the
Christ, that's over.
On a Friday night, a game against the Dogs. They'll hear no cheers. The Black and White Army season has begun just as they hoped it would.
Where's Eddie? I think that plays for the Bob Rose Cup or something it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey!
So the Rock Rose Cup goes the way of the Magpies, 13-8 to 5-4. Wayne Carey, Luke Hodge. With the Pies too good too early, do they set the tone, or the Dogs just off the boil of them?
Oh, Dogs off the boil, but the Pies were absolutely sensational. Let's get down to Big Richo, who's been everywhere tonight.
Howie, that was a pretty solid win, mate, against an opposition that we thought were going to be a very good team this year, and they still will be, but you dominated them.
Oh, you're fucking joking.
The boys started it early, especially in the midfield. I think we were plus 10 in clearance early in that first quarter, and we were able to play the game in the front half, and clearly that's what we want to do. We're a contested ball, good hunting type side, and thought we were able to do that for the majority because we knew what the Doggies would bring, good pressure, a good contested ball, and we had to do that, and I thought the boys were impressive.
Nathan mentioned before the game that he wanted to get more out of the dominance of Brodie tonight, and I think you really did do that.
Absolutely, the connection with first hands to getting the clearances was great tonight. The boys put a amount of work into training, the connection was right on, it's a good start for them.
And then that allows you guys to come up and really defend the ground well, and only 22 inside 50s you allowed them.
Yeah, right, it did feel like it was quite minimal, so if the boys can keep that up, the defenders will be quite happy, so we'll see how we go.
It's a bit like playing at Dodgers Ferry here tonight, mate.
Well, we get more of the Dodgers Ferry games at the moment than here, but look, I'm sure the fans are watching at home. We appreciate it because keep the love up and we'll try to keep getting the wins.
Absolutely. Yeah. You are the quickest man on the ground tonight on the Telstra track, believe it or not.
Bad for 29-year-old. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Howard. Cheers, mate.
I think we saw Brodie Grundy there being past the Bob Rose.
Then obviously the intercept come out of nowhere where we're probably thinking we should be 18 up, and so I think that mentally we didn't deal with that all that well. Then gave him another try for half time, all of a sudden we're down. Gave Dragons enough of it.
Hit outs, kick the goals, probably should have kicked 2 or 3.
I think Brodie Grundy's heading over towards Richo. No one really understands how this works anymore. You've got to go to the microphone. Richo's got to keep his distance. It's all pretty awkward stuff, but that's the world we're living in.
Bit of silverware there, the Robert Rose medal. Congratulations, Brodie. A great performance tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It's all about disability inclusion, so yeah, fantastic cause, and happy to be a part of the game. And really thought that we were going to get there in the end, so it's good fun to be out here.
Mate, you started the year in unbelievable fashion. You look really fit. Are you fitter than you've ever been? Because you certainly look that way, covered the ground so well tonight.
I'm not too sure. Obviously, the decrease in game time probably helps. Someone like me, I like to sort of play in bursts, so the shorter the game, I suppose it sort of helps me.
Do you feel like as a team now you've been together a pretty solid combination for 2 to 3 years now? You just look to know each other so well out on the ground, so well organised tonight.
Yeah, I mean, well, it doesn't look like it. They're really off the field, but no, it's been a good couple of years building, and we just need to continue to sorry, continue to just build our connection in the midfield, especially. That's something that we wanted to improve on, and I thought we have made a good start at this night.
I'll let you get over to them. Well done, Brodie.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
You're watching Friday Night Footy on Fox, a sensational performance by the Collingwood Football Club, a brilliant start to their 2020 campaign and an awesome start for Brodie Grundy. We're going to be talking about him, David King, all year.
And rightly so, he was dominant again tonight. Well, I mean, English has been the spruik player for the Western Bulldogs for 6 months. He's going to arrive, this is his year. He got Brodie Grundy in white-hot form first up. It's a tough start for the young fella, but he served it to his midfielders on a platter and they didn't let him down.
Grundy actually got the 3 Brownlow votes in the last 2 performances against Tim English, so perhaps the youngster getting schooled by the master in a lot of respect.
Here an error off the back of a poor Mansour error. Next, Ruckman's going to step up to the elite level. He's learning from the best. He needs to play against him and learn why he's getting smashed up like this.
See, we look at why teams are contenders. Well, what have they got that's a point of difference? So straight away they've got this dominant ruckman as a point of difference. His tap work tonight was more creative than what it's had been the previous 18 months. They've got to go in the like that go in the midfield. They spun the magnets tonight. They've got points of difference everywhere.
Now, we believe the Collingwood Football Club are going to sing their song. Pre-match it was said that they weren't going to sing in the event they won, but we've just had breaking news that they will be singing. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it. It might be an original take, but enjoy this, Magpie fans. It's been a long summer and a long couple of weeks. We don't expect they'll be linking arms, but they'll be in there singing somehow.
They're fired up.
Creating their own buzz.
Aren't they?
That was awesome. I like that better.
That's as entertaining a club song as I've seen for many a year. They danced, they enjoyed it, they screamed, they bullied, they did all. That was spectacular. They said.
So they're dancing around where they get fucking
yes,
flogged.
I'm going very good, but you need to keep your foot on the throat and you need to really apply.
All club songs to go. We want to see singing, we want to see dancing, we want to see some new moves come out.
I want to see the Esky in the middle, some thumping on top of the Esky, get the bins involved if you can.
Borrow the Esky off the league boys on it.
Yeah, NRL style, they get very good.
Hats off to the players. It's been a really...
Standing up, racing, and got it.
All of the right things. They took that on board today, Jace.
I think they did everything right. I mean, the more we see, the more we're getting a handle on what the right way to go about it is. And I think if they can keep doing this, hopefully none of the players test positive and keep seeing a little bit more football.
All right, we're going to have a look at some of the highlights from tonight, and it is with thanks to Zero. We've got some brilliant vision of, well, Collingwood's pressure, David King, and the way that they were able to stifle the Dogs. They just couldn't get the game on their terms.
Well, this is what the Dogs want to do. They want to counter-attack from the defensive end of the ground. We look at those midfield names, but they're more link midfield numbers than absolute clearance winners. You look at 54 opportunities they had in the defensive half. But the Pies didn't give them an inch, Chase. Nick, we were looking down all night, how quickly they closed the space. And then if they got one pass free, the next pass was clamped. That's why they only had 22 inside 50.
They want to get the ball in motion, the Bulldogs, but they were never able to. There was never the link, the overlap type play that makes them so dangerous. It was all this stagnant kick, mark, back off the mark, pressure, until...
And Forever Kronos has also been $4.40 in a touch to $4. Let's join Dan.
Where's
between them?
Sunshine.
This is the Ballarat Service Equipment Trot Race 9, 2,200 metres, and they are starting to move up.
What's going on?
Scoring threat, the Dogs, they just didn't have it tonight. But
Let's not forget, this is the team that we said pre-game is the #1 transition team from 2019. Moving the ball from the defensive 50 into the attacking 50 and scoring did not look like it. And you have to take your hat off to Nathan Buckley and the planning that they did to combat the change of direction and movement of the Dogs. That's as good a performance as you'll see.
34 points per game on average last year coming out of the back half of the Dogs, 7 tonight. I mean, that's a 4 or 5 goal gap. You just can't manufacture that in another area through the course of one evening.
Interesting times ahead for Luke Beveridge. Plenty to work on there. All right, stick with us. We're going to take a short break. Plenty more.
Racing Chief, we got horses going everywhere at the start. Going for a gallop was a Tego Jet in the early part. You need a bit of must.
Oh, what's going on there? There's supposed to be one more race. Let's see what's going on. I might have cancelled it. Oh, there it is. 16 minutes is delayed. 16 minutes. So what happened there? Another 16 minutes.
Oh.
It's chance. It's 40 metres away. 43.9 for the lead time.